Thank you, Dwayne. Welcome everyone to the November the 3rd board meeting. Appreciate each one being here. If you would, just take a second and put your phone on silent. Would be well appreciated. As always, we'll open up in a word of prayer, and Mr. Manning will come up to the podium and lead us in a word of prayer, along with Will leading us in the flag. So if you would, please stand. Mr. Manning.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we ask right now in the name of your Son, Jesus. First, we come with acknowledgement of who you are and the sovereignty of our lives. God, we pause in this moment to say thank you for the blessing of life. For Lord, there was nothing we did on yesterday or even this morning that warranted us to be here. So God, you've allowed us to be here, and that is with purpose. So we ask right now that as we move forward with business, we ask that you just move in this space, that you permeate this atmosphere with your spirit, and that everything that is done in this place, God, you can be pleased with. God, I ask that you move on every individual, and that you speak to every heart. For Lord, whatever we do for you. So we honor you, and we thank you, and we bless you. In your Son Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Well,
Attention, salute, flag.
Mr. Clark.
Yes, Mr. President, you have before you the minutes of the October the 25th, October the 20th, 2025 board meeting. If there are no questions or amendments, I would ask that those be approved.
All right, are there any questions? If not, do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion Supervisor Griffith, I'll second. Discussion. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? I would like to change the order up a little and go straight to the public hearing on the planning and zoning. For it has Makita. So, Mr. Clark, Mr. Weeks one is gonna open it up. With that being said, I'd like to have a motion to go into a public hearing.
I'll make that motion.
Motion Supervisor Banks, do I have a second? I'll second it. Discussion. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? We are now in public hearing. Mr. Clark?
Yes, Mr. President, I'll be brief. Makita has submitted actually two applications here today. The first one is an application for rezoning. It's plus or minus, I think, 625 acres, rezoning from A1 to I2. Of that 625, Makita currently has 359 of those acres under contract with first right of refusal on the remaining portions, just seeking to have that rezoned again, like I said, from A1 to I2. And as part of that application, they have a request for a variance to the height restrictions that's currently in the I2 portion of the ordinance. Right now it's 40 feet. This is nothing novel. This is nothing new. We did this at the mega site, and we just made the maximum building height contingent on site approval for I2 properties. So in the event that the property is rezoned from A1 to I2, the next piece would be the height variance. And Makita's also got that same request in on a couple of other parcels that they have within the last year or so purchased and also rezoned to I2. So they're here today on both of those matters.
All right, Mr. Clark, so we need to listen to both of them in public hearing.
Correct, that's right.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, as always, we'll open up with, I guess, Mr. Jernigan, speaking on behalf of Makita.
Thank you, Mr. President. We're here asking that this property be rezoned for additional industrial development, economic development in the county. We do have the 359 acres under contract now with the owners, but it would be for the same purposes that the mega site exists across this. This is directly across the road from the existing mega site at the corner of Nissan Parkway and 22. I have Mr. Deason here. We can answer any questions that the board may have. Of course, any rezoning would include a 150-foot buffer along the right-of-ways of the existing public roads. And it is proposed for any use that would be allowable under the I-2 designation. We do need the height variance, as we did with the Amazon Distribution Center. And we would ask the board's approval of that today.
What is the height variance that you're asking?
110 feet,
How far is this from the current mega site?
directly across 22.
And, okay.
And you mentioned a 150-foot buffer from the road.
Yes,
I
from any of the
think,
public right-of-ways, Mr. Banks.
and what about the residential properties?
That would include all of the boundaries. There are some residential properties to the south. We're going to put the same covenants and restrictions that we have on all of our Makita property, which would include that buffer as far as those, property owners are concerned on the south end of this property.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
Probably, maybe not something you could answer, but the sewer system that we're putting in, the sewer treatment plant, this location, could we hook the new mega site up to the same? Is it gonna have the capacity to treat the sewer from the new mega site, the one across the street that y'all are currently trying to purchase?
Well, it should. It's not right now gonna reach its new capacity when it's completed. We don't have anything in particular, Mr. Baxter, that's going in there right this minute as
But
far
is-
as the rezoned property is concerned.
Is that one of the reasons why y'all chose this site? Cause it'd be easier to hook up to this current sewer system?
Certainly, that, water, infrastructure, access to I-55, all of those factors that have made the mega site so attractive.
Thank you.
Got a question there. I don't know exactly where the residential property and the houses at in that area. But if we was to go out further than 150 feet buffer, how much would that affect the property? From more than 150 feet buffer from the residential property?
I hate to answer a question with a question, Mr. Griffin, but what do you have in mind? I mean,
Get
175 feet or 200 feet?
Get further you can from those homes. And I don't even have a picture in my mind, cause I don't know where the home's at out there.
Well, there are some homes across Nissan Parkway. There are a few residences on the very south end of this property. So I think we could do that. I don't think that would be that difficult.
The reason I'm asking that, cause I believe all these folks probably is up here, cause of that, probably live out there.
Yeah, well, we have entered, Mr. Griffin, into a clearing and grubbing contract on the property. Now, if you've been out there, you can see what's been done, but we'll leave whatever, we are right now planning on leaving a 150-foot buffer. If you want something besides that, we can certainly accommodate that at this point, because we have not started on any of that property as far as clearing up at all.
Is the 150-foot buffer, is it trees or is it open ground currently?
No, it would be trees and the existing vegetation.
Mr. Jernigan, I'd like to kind of start back. When you rezone a piece of property, you need to give us a need, why you rezoning it, and the change in the character that would require a rezoning or a mistake in the rezoning map. Which,
Well, it's certainly been no mistake, Mr. Steen, but obviously, if you drive out there, nature and character of the whole area has changed due to the development of the mega site, which all of that property is under, there is no more available property on that site. As a matter of fact, we purchased an additional 400 acres adjoining that property so that they could expand and use that. So we are currently basically out of any shovel-ready dirt for any future industrial development in that area, which is, as we know, what is attractive to all businesses that would be looking at this particular site. It's a very attractive site to future development due to the fact that it is directly across the road from what we all know has been a very successful project there. And it's just, that's your change in that neighborhood. There was no original mistake in the zoning. It's been A1. I checked the title, I've looked at the title, and it, you know, the current owners have owned this property since the early 60s. So, hadn't been much change there. It's changed around them significantly, and there is a significant need in the county for additional industrial development property. And this is, obviously has the infrastructure and the accessibility for transportation purposes that makes it a really, really good industrial development, economic development site.
Okay, so you're saying changing character, you are responding back to the change of the mega site itself.
And all of the, if you look, all of the things that have taken place in the industrial park there with the new distribution, ABC distribution center, and all the things that are going along, not I-20, 22. So yes, the whole area is rapidly changing.
Okay. And I'm gonna get back to the buffer, just have one quick question. I think Mr. Banks or a couple of other supervisors asked. What is the original setback for an I-2? Is it 150 feet or is it less?
I think it's 100.
Okay, so the original is 100 feet, and so y'all are proposing
We're proposing 150 in our covenants.
Okay, and that starts at the Makita's property line,
Correct.
and it goes from 150 feet from Makita's property line back into the property that you're asking for it to be rezoned.
That is correct.
Okay, yeah, just kind of clear that up a little. All right, other questions?
Well, you know, the word industrial is pretty all encompassing. And I think, the concern would be what type of industrial are we looking at? And is there any kind of restrictions on, noise, any restrictions on pollution? Those things are gonna be of interest of the people, because even being 200 feet buffer, if it's noisy, it travels. So I think, the concern too is gonna be what type of industrial are we looking at? When you call it industrial, why is it, you know, what type of development is coming in there that needs to have industrial too? I don't know what goes in industrial too. And I don't think any of us in here really know what goes in industrial too, but we also, you know, have our thoughts.
Yes, sir.
With,
According to Article 23.
Ma'am, could you come a little closer to the
Okay.
microphone?
Okay, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Ma'am,
My name is Thelma Myers,
okay, and you're here for what now?
in reference to the
All right,
rezone.
I'd rather for the attorney to answer that
Yeah.
question.
Okay.
If you don't
Okay.
mind,
you're
you'll
gonna
get your
have an
chance.
opportunity to.
I'll have an
all of
opportunity.
you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
You'll get opportunity, but at this point,
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Banks, there are going to be covenant codes and restrictions, just like there are at the mega site. It's easier to answer that and let you know what's not going to be in the park as well. So anything that's noisy, smelly, explosives, all of that's prohibited, okay? What we're looking for is an advanced manufacturing technical park with professional offices as well. because obviously the area is booming. And it's not just the mega site, it's not just there. If you'll look, there's a brand-new convenience store at the corner now, okay? There's a brand-new a retirement home. There's an upgraded hospital. So the whole area is growing and growing very, very quickly. Skip mentioned this, Mr. Jernigan. What makes that site so attractive is it's got all the infrastructure. And we promise, and we'll put it in writing, that we're going to be good neighbors to anybody that's near or located near that park.
Joey, give me a quick rundown of some guesstimations on what's the value of when Amazon's done building, what's the value of all that gonna be out there?
That is somewhat confidential, but I can tell you that Bloomberg reported $16 billion.
And what kind of revenue is that gonna bring in the Canton School District?
To the Canton School District, approximately $40 million per year.
And how much is gonna be brought into the county coffers?
Total, it'll be, including the school district and the county, it'll be about $125 million additional a year.
So what's Canton School budget now per year?
I think it's around 35
So
million.
it's gonna over double it?
That's correct.
And how many kids are in the Canton School District?
I don't have that answer.
Thank you.
Since he asked those questions, this property, what you talk about now, is in Madison County School District, right?
No,
Think Canton.
Is in
it's
Canton.
the City of Canton School District.
Other questions for Mr. Deason? All right, Mr. Jernigan, you would like to say, follow up on any?
Could add that this is a significant need. It's a great opportunity for the county for further economic development. It would be proposed that it would be similar to what we have across Highway 22. None of those businesses or entities over there are any polluters or make a lot of noise. They have made a lot of noise getting constructed, but as anybody in this room can tell, that has been the most significant economic development in this entire state ever. So thank you. We would appreciate your consideration of this.
Thank
Thank you, Mr. Jernigan. At this point, I think they probably a spokesperson for the opposition. Is there, Mr. Manning?
With Ms. Thelma gotten up.
Yeah, we're gonna take it, but us take it one at a time and, cause we want to give everyone an opportunity in opposition and those that it's in favor of this project as well.
Okay. Yes, sir. Well, thank you for your time. I do have a petition that's signed, and I would like to submit it for minutes, to be approved in the minutes here.
Okay,
With signatures as well.
Make a motion to approve the petition.
got a motion, Supervisor Banks, do I have a second? Second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed?
Again, thank you for your time. Initially, I was gonna run down everything that's in the objection to the motion, but you all are learned people, so you can read that, you can see what's in there. Of course, we have objections to, the potential of incompatibility with the surrounding uses. We can talk about the environmental things, we can talk about the traffic, we can talk about the noise, we can even bring up the amount of money that it potentially can come to the city of Canton.
Sir, if you will, address.
I'm sorry.
address the
I'm
board,
sorry. I
please.
grew up in Canton, and so I'm passionate about what happens. This rezoning is not just about building. It's not just about money. It's about people. We're talking about the economic impact, and we're talking about the needs. I looked at the petition that came before you last month from Makita, and one of the things it addressed was public need. But what part of the public are we referring to? Because the people that live off Old Jackson Road, the people who have been there, the Caldwells, the Ransbergs, who have generations of people living on that land, we're talking about the economic impact, but what does that, we don't even know exactly what's coming. So what you're saying is give us a blank check, let us determine how we want to spend it, and you be okay with that. There are 80-something-year-old women who have lived in that community, and they are concerned about what's coming. We talk about the gas station that's on the corner. We talk about, the development of Amazon and what it's brought, but we haven't heard them talk about the things that it brought that don't benefit people. When I was going to get petitions, and I'm on 22 trying to turn to get back, the amount of traffic just to turn on Highway 22 was outrageous. We talk about noise. The reason we live in rural areas is to have peace, to have quietness, to have calm. Can you guarantee us that there's going to be such a buffer around these establishments that we won't hear anything? Can you guarantee us? He said he promised. Well, my grandmother made us promises. They stood on that. They did everything in their ability to make sure that they kept their word. Can you guarantee us that the traffic from that is not going to impede on our quality of life? Can you guarantee us that whatever type of pollution, whether it's noise pollution, light pollution, there are people who live by Amazon that have we gone back and asked them how has the dust affected them? There are individuals that I know that did not have asthma that live right across the street, has asthma now. What are the protections that Makita is going to put in place with these coming establishments? Because here's the thing, I don't care how much money you give to the school district, and I want the school district to prosper. But what value do you put on my quality of life? How does this impact the people that live in our community? And guess what? The reason they're here, because they're concerned. I could have stayed at home. I could have gone to work. But when I looked at some of those individuals that I went to get the petition signed, and they looked at me and they said, what's the point? They were kind of afraid because they felt like we were small Davids going against Goliath, because they say there's money involved. And I understand it takes money to do anything. But what value do you ascribe to people's quality of life? Huh? Mr. Hawkins moved from Flint, Michigan. He worked for the auto industry. He moved down here to have peace of mind. He and his wife are fighting, and they have health issues. You mean to tell me what good is a 160-foot buffer going to do when they already have failing health? Can you guarantee that the dust not going to fly in their driveway? Can you guarantee us that the noise won't reach their ears? Can you guarantee us that whatever height, because what if the site says I need more than 100 feet and we give them okay to do it? Where does it stop? Does it stop at one industry, 2, 4? How much land do we need? Because the reality is this, we always talk about the economic impact. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I haven't seen that where I live. I haven't. And so this is not just another notch on the belt of Makita to put on their website and say the things that they've brought to this county. And I'm appreciative of that. But here's the thing. There's land everywhere else. Okay, I understand they may have to drive a little bit farther from 22. I understand that Nissan and everything else is there. But where does it stop? Because the question I have to ask, if we put it closer to some other affluent areas that have land, it would be way more people here than this. And I'm not making it a race issue, because there are black people that live in those areas as well. I'm making it affluent. I'm making it a statement about like what your economic status is. Because most of the people where I live, they don't come from affluent means. Their homes don't have great value. So my question is this: if we had homes that were $500,000 in that area, would we have this there? So I'm objecting not for myself. But for all these people who can't afford to go anywhere. For all these people who feel like their voice won't be heard, can't be heard, like they don't have a voice. If it's about the public need, I think it would be due diligence on behalf of Makita to talk to the public that's going to be affected and see what they need. So I strongly object. I strongly object with every fiber of my being. Because here's the thing. It's going to affect us. in the long run. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Manning. Appreciate it as well, and at this point, I'd like to go back and ask anyone that's in favor of this, that they can come up and speak at this point. Okay? If not, what we'd like to do at this time is anyone that objects and would like to speak, please come up to the mic, give your name and address, and you have 2 minutes. And
Can I have 3?
no, ma'am, 2 minutes. Hold on 1 second before you speak. When you start repeating, then that's when I'm gonna start cutting everybody, cutting you off. If you come up and first 2 or 3 say, what needs to be said, and then you got 3 or 4 come behind them and say the same thing, then that's kind of repeating. But if you want your name to be in the record to object to it, please come up and state your name and give your address and say, I object to it. So.
I'm
ma'am,
not going to repeat, but I am going to, I'm sorry. My name is Cynthia Allen, Alderwoman, newly elected Alderwoman for the great city of Canton, Ward 4. Greetings to all of the board members that are here. I'd like to say thank you for this opportunity. That's 10 seconds. Let me go on to what I was going to say. Concerning the buffer, I am one of the people that lives directly across the street from the Makita site where Amazon is in my view every day. I have been accosted now with asthma. I'm one of the people that he's talking about. Initially, when the problem was coming up with the dust coming over, we were given a humidifier. A multi-billion-dollar company did not come to us and ask us if we wanted to sell our property, which I thought was what was going to happen. We didn't. He came, and they came. I'm going to use it in they terms. They came, and they gave us a air humidifier. After that wasn't enough, then you said your car's so dusty, they gave us free car washes. $1 billion industry, that's what they did. Secondly, we got the convenience store. The convenience store in the corner, I remember coming right here to this board, me and Miss Catherine Goldman, who is a resident of Attleboro, and we said we didn't want a liquor store in the corner because it's going to cause additional people to come around. So I didn't pay attention because somebody had to have a special exemption for that. And next thing I know, the board agreed for the man to put a cannabis store in the corner. That's an addition. Cannabis is in that store right now on the corner, not even a mile from a church. There are a lot of things that's going to happen as a result of economic progress and in the name of progress. But this is not just about the progress that the city is going to make, preferably the county is going to make. In order to be a good neighbor, you have to know what your neighbor's issues are. And if your neighbor's issues are not in your best benefit, right now, it seems like it's okay, but it's going to be worse off than ever before. Mr. Steen, you're the person that told me when I stood here last time, you said, well, we don't have 5-year plans. We have 10, 15, 20-year plans, and I agree that you do. But I want to make certain that in those 20-year plans that the citizens who have a tenure here and those who have worked for that land are included in that. I thank you. I yield my time to you, sir.
Hi. Thank you, ma'am. Did well. Others that would like to speak in opposition of it, please come up and just state your name and say what you would like to say to the board, please.
My name is Otis Wesley, and I live at 107 Old Jackson Road. And my property actually connects to the property he's talking about developing. And right now, you see 150 feet. It's like it's nothing there now because my wife and I lay in bed, and we get all the noise from the nursing home, from the highway, from the gas station, and 150 feet. It just ain't gonna do it. It ain't gonna do it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir. Others? And if y'all would like, you can just come and maybe get in a line over this side and just come up afterwards. Yes, sir.
Good morning, President Steen, members of the board. If you could bear with me for just a minute, I just learned of this rezoning a couple days ago. My name is Nathan Evans. I am a resident of the Panther Creek community neighborhood west of this subject property. I'm also currently the president of the Homeowners Association board in that neighborhood. And I'm here speaking on behalf of the association, and I do have a few concerns about this rezoning and variance request. And if you bear with me, perhaps a little more than the 2 minutes, I do have a few concerns I'd like to go with that weren't addressed before.
Address those that has not been addressed, if you will.
Okay, thank you. First concern is the notice required under section 17-117 of Mississippi Code, I believe, for the public hearing is also a publication notice in the local newspapers. I've not been able to locate that at all. I have alerts set up, so we're aware of anything that's happening in the area. A member of the neighborhood forwarded this to me Friday afternoon, so I apologize. I haven't had a lot of time to prepare for this. My daughter's birthday was this weekend, and it's kind of thrown a wrench in all that, but I'll do the best I can here. So just based on that grounds, unless there's evidence produced otherwise, I think this request has not met statutory requirements. So I think that should be disapproved on those grounds. Secondly, under the Madison County zoning ordinance 2019, public hearing required. I believe this has to be heard in a public hearing before the Planning and Zoning Commission. I do not think that occurred either. I went through the minutes for the last about 3 years looking for something on this, and I could not find the public hearing or the request there. Under section 811 of the zoning ordinance, that is required for all dimensional variances and amendments to the official zoning map, which is what I believe is being requested here. Newspaper notices required, signs required on the property. I've seen no signs on the property with the hearing, and it's also required under 81103 for Planning and Zoning Commission public hearing. So on statutory grounds and zoning ordinance grounds, I don't think that it's proper to approve this request today for both. Notwithstanding all of that, I also have objections from the Neighborhood Association of Panther Creek. We've been in that development for, beginning in the mid to late 90s is when Panther Creek development was started. It is a residential estate community, lots 5 acres, houses ranging anywhere from $500,000 to multiple millions of dollar homes on the west side of the subject property. I have dire concerns for the property values, especially those on the north side that are directly adjacent to this property that will be affected by having an I-2 zone directly next to their properties. We are still developing Panther Creek. There's currently 2 or 3 houses on the north end being built. Several more have requested ARC approval to be built. There's also in plans to do a subdivision on the north side directly adjacent to this subject property for 14 more lots and houses. So if this is approved, our neighborhood will be detrimentally affected, our property values will be affected, and on those grounds, we would object. Now, I want to go through a couple points in the petition for the 600 some odd acres that are being requested to be rezoned. So under the character of the neighborhood, it is being said that a major north to south thoroughfare is Calhoun Station Parkway. I would disagree with that characterization. If you go up Calhoun Station Parkway to Stout Road, the road is closed. You cannot drive through there from Stout Road to Highway 22. It is closed. It's been torn up by dump trucks. In addition to the rest of the road south of there has been torn up as well, and our outside of our neighborhoods had been repaired 4 or 5 times because of that, and it needs to be repaired again. I don't see the infrastructure being there for that, and is not a major north-south thoroughfare unless it's completely redone and torn out and replaced. Let's see, the Madison County mega site is directly across the highway to the north. Yes, on one parcel, the 100-acre parcel in the northeast corner of this 600-acre. The rest of it is south. To the west, Panther Creek. To the south, more residential homes. To the east, I believe there are more residential homes to the east as well. Almost 100 lots, I believe. So the character of the surrounding area is residential. The future plan in the Madison County plan is that those be medium to residential estate properties, except for the commercial property in the corner, which is adjacent to the mega site. Petitioner did say that areas around have been rezoned to I-2 recently. The character of the neighborhood, they state, changed because of the Nissan plant, of course. And then the MMC Materials, which is on I-2 heavy, supposedly nearby, that's across the interstate as well, south of the Nissan plant. Recently, the petitioner rezoned in February 25, 2 more parcels. Both of those are east of I-55, south of MMC Materials of the Nissan plant. Neither one of those are on the west side of I-55 where the residential areas are. And the last point here, the minutes of the Board of Supervisors reflect numerous other properties that have been recently rezoned I-2. Joby Hardy and Minnie Evans Revocable Trust is 123 acres. That is north of the mega site on Verilia Road. Rita Graham LLB Farms, that's 85 acres, same area, and another Miss Mary Jane Walter Batwell has approximately 100 acres. Those properties together account for almost 300 acres of property being rezoned I-2 north of the mega site. In addition to those things, even though I don't think they've purchased those properties yet, the Harold property, 400 acres to the northwest of the mega site adjacent to it, has been bought recently. That could account for another 700 acres of development for the mega site, which I understand is about 1,000 acres now, so almost doubling it. I don't think the southern part of 22, south of 22 needs to be developed as part of the mega site due to the characteristics of the residential areas around it. When there's ample room north of the mega site and the west of the mega site that are very low density residential farms, things like that, that would, I'm sure, love to sell their properties to Amazon for a lot of dollars on the dollar. So we feel that the best use of the rezoning should, and the mega site should proceed north. There's no need for it to come south, and there's ample property. I know petitioner said that there's not, but if you look at the Madison County zoning maps, there's a lot of agricultural fields, forests, things that they could go that way with it. One example I would like to point out is the property Mary Jane and Walter Batwell, which is 100 acres that was recently rezoned. In a recent MCEDA meeting, their meeting where they purchased the property, I'm sorry, as a Planning and Zoning Commission meeting, when they requested their property be rezoned from A1 to I2. They quoted, and it's on the minutes of the Planning and Zoning Commission record, they are tired of the noise and constructions on 3 sides of their property from the development of the nearby mega site. They sold their property because of the reasons why all these people here are concerned of what's gonna happen with this if this property is allowed to be rezoned. So for all of the reasons that I mentioned before, I would respectfully request that the board deny the approval of this rezoning request and variance request, and under Mississippi law, under zoning ordinance, and under the concerned citizens request that this be done. So thank you, President Steen.
Thank you much, and appreciate the new items you brought out, because I would like to ask Mr. Weeks to come up, or Mr. Clark to come up and address 3 or 4 of those items that you brought out that was new on this. So if you would, let Mr. Weeks come up to the podium. Mr. Weeks, if you would, address the notice, which should have been addressed at the very beginning of the opening.
It was. If you recall, this was taken directly to the board. They petitioned the board directly, so it did not go to planning and zoning.
Okay.
It was advertised. I sent those advertisements to Mr. Clark and Mr. Simmons. It was advertised in the Madison County Journal.
Mr. Clark, you have those receipts?
I have where Scott sent me that and the date of publication. I don't read the newspaper. I don't have the newspaper in front of me, but I don't have any question as to whether it was or not.
Okay.
I could call Mr. Simmons right now and probably get that answer.
Okay, but we did as far as legal.
Yes, sir.
It was noticed legal. It came to the Board of Supervisors instead of going to the Planning and Zoning Board.
Correct.
Okay, so all that's done.
Greg, do you have something to say?
What was the date of publication? We've got a copy of the paper. I can go grab it.
Yeah,
I would have to look
It
back
needs
on
to be
my-
in
Should have been
minutes.
October the 16th.
Great, no problem solved.
Okay, it should be in the minutes, and I agree, if it wasn't, and I think we all agree that if it wasn't, noticed properly in the paper, this needs to end now, actually.
Correct.
Also, signs,
They were placed.
where were they placed?
There was one on the Nissan Parkway, right there at 22.
Right,
And then it was another one put somewhere in the proximity of Calhoun Station Parkway.
were
But I
they
think it's-
placed, were they placed to place one on the south end of the property somewhere?
I don't believe there were any roads over there to put
Okay.
one on. Calhoun Station is
Ma'am.
closed.
Ma'am, just hold tight, you'll get your chance to speak. They was placed in two different places then.
Correct.
On the roads, okay? And that's what our ordinance says, that it's placed somewhere
Placed on the property.
on the property, on the road.
Of course, Calhoun Station is closed.
Yes, Calhoun Station's closed, so we can't put one on
Calhoun
that.
Station doesn't do any good. Nobody can go see it.
Okay, that's right. And the other, good point I have written down is the road itself. And maybe, Mr. Bryant needs to address Calhoun Parkway, the one that was, that is closed at this point, that was, that come out in the gentleman's, statement as well. So, Mr. Bryant, which is our county engineer, so
Yep.
address the, road concern, Calhoun Station.
Hey, it was brought up that Calhoun Station is closed, and yes, sir, it is currently closed, but Supervisor Steen, you did sign a contract today to upgrade and widen Calhoun Station. So we are under contract to do that now, and that will start in the next month or two and should take about a year to do. So in about a year, we'll have a new widened Calhoun Station from Stout Road up to Highway 22.
Okay. And also, Mr. Weeks, if you would, step back up and tell the board, what is the difference between, what is currently zoned now, which is A1, and what can go into A1 compared to I2?
Well, A1 is naturally agricultural. You can have mobile homes, residential, anything on that. You still have conditional uses for public, quasi-public facilities, utilities. And then the I2, you get into, the industrial nature. And we do have conditional uses on it. I think salvage yards is one of them, and a few others. I could grab my ordinance if you want to hear them word for word.
So it could be a salvage yard?
Under a conditional use.
Okay.
So you could naturally restrict certain
Yeah.
things.
Right.
That's another good point, Mr. President, if I could bring up, speaking as the attorney for the Planning and Zoning Commission, I've heard a lot of people say, we don't know, what's coming, we're not sure, and that's true. I don't think Makita can argue that, but I just wanted to make the point, as I often do in our planning and zoning meetings, that this board and the public still has opportunity under a site plan. So this is only step one. A rezoning is step one.
Right.
There are additional and multiple steps before anything can go on that property, through submission of site plan to this board, and, so just wanted to make that comment just for full understanding.
Okay.
That's a good comment, but, Makita is an arm of Madison County.
Sir?
Makita is an arm of
That's
Madison County.
Correct.
So, public trust is what's important. And here we are, the board, and these are our constituents, my constituents that know. And they don't trust us to hold Makita accountable. So, we need to do it here in front of them, whatever we're gonna do, instead of saying, oh, well, this is just first step. No, the first step leads to other steps. So there's a concern that we need to, take care of that.
Don't hear me say that you're not allowed to take steps today, Mr. Banks. Don't let me don't hear me say that.
Scott, I got a question for you. The latest gentleman that came up from Panther Creek, how far is this proposed purchase of land from Panther Creek subdivision as a crow flies?
Adjacent.
It butts up to it.
And so
It does butt.
the buffer would be, the 150-foot buffer would be the only thing that separates them?
Correct.
And he mentioned property value. What normally happens to property value when Makita comes in and purchases large swaths of land for debt? What happens to the property value around usually happens around the areas that we purchase for economic development?
I don't think I would be the appropriate one to answer that.
Yeah, we can.
Supervisor Baxter, I can tell you that the land north and surrounding has increased drastically.
What is
Up to the request of $450,000 an acre.
And what usually happens, are there any investments in infrastructure, like roads and bridges around this, the mega park we bought years ago? Is the county or Amazon or the state, outside of the sewer plant, are they doing any investment in infrastructure around?
Yes, absolutely. If you look down Calhoun Parkway Station, it now has gas, water, and sewer, okay? We're putting in red lights, we're improving the roads, all surrounding the mega site and adjacent to this piece of property that we're referring to.
And then we mentioned the school district's getting a major investment, the county's getting a major investment. And the argument that was made that we're putting this in an area north of more affluent areas, aren't we doing mega site investments south in the Ridgeland area also with a power plant?
That's correct. Yes, sir.
So we're spreading them out.
That's correct.
And the new proposed area is south of 22, which is getting closer to affluent areas and, okay, all right, thank you.
Let me make a point though, about the land values. And yeah, land values north of the mega site and, in clear areas have, seen drastic increase. Land values of residential property next to that area is becoming undesirable because of the problems that the people that live in those homes have seen. Now, if the mega site will come and buy them out at those high prices and clear it so where they can go somewhere else away from where all this is done, that would be one thing. But that ain't gonna happen. So their values are not necessarily going up, but their values are actually going down.
All right, thank you, Mr. Banks and Ms. Baxter. Mr. Weeks, I want to get back to you at this point on the notice.
I would like this to be entered into the minutes. I have both advertisements on October 16th sent to the Madison County Journal. One is for the rezoning, the other one's for the variance.
Okay, so that is confirmed that everything was done and done legally there.
Correct.
We answered the Planning and Zoning Board, we bypassed it and brought it straight to the Board of Supervisors. We addressed the signage, that it was posted proper. We also addressed the Calhoun Station Parkway as well as far as what's happening within the next 12 months. So hopefully we have addressed those concerns at this point. What I'd like to do at this point, thank you, Mr. Weeks. What I'd like to do at this point is move forward with a public hearing with anyone that would like to speak in opposition for it. And when you bring up questions like that, we will probably turn right around and try to answer those questions at that point. So anyone else that would like to speak in opposition, please come up. I know this young lady on the front row as well.
Yeah, Mr. Elmer.
Would like to, but if you will, here to address, giving your name and address in 2 minutes, please.
My name is Fred Hawkins. I live at 169 Hill Road. I'm kind of confused, I'm sad, and I'm upset. I moved down here in 2011 from Michigan. I work for General Motors. I know about this so-called rezoning. I know what it does to people's health when they start putting these different chemicals and different things in here, different buildings in here. Hill Road is quiet, it's peaceful. When I back up my driveway, whatever you talk about putting across, they're gonna be right across, it'll be right at the end of my driveway. But I know it doesn't matter to you because you don't live here. When you get through, you will go to your nice homes. You're gonna go where there's no rezoning, no nothing. You're gonna sit back. But we will have to accept it because you figure that's all about the mighty dollar. But it's amazing, and it started 2 years ago when I got all these phone calls about selling and selling. I said, something is up and something is wrong. Do you want to sell? Do you want to sell? Do you want to sell? I said, why all of a sudden do you want to sell? And I looked at the surrounding, I looked at that thing that was going on. I looked at Hill Road, I looked at Old Jackson Road. It's just amazing how people can just sit back and disrupt people's lives, and it don't really matter to them. The only thing they count about is a dollar bill. But like I said, I work for General Motors. I know what it does to your body. I know what those plants does to your body. I know what the noise does to your body. But you don't live there, so it really does make you any different. But the people that live there, I didn't move here for that. I didn't come on. I could have went in the suburb. I said, no, I want to go where peace and quietness is. But you're telling me, I got this letter, but what are you talking about putting there? What kind of company is coming there? What are they doing? What are they manufacturing? It's the chemicals. I've heard anything. What are you talking about putting there? How you gonna route it? You gonna route it on? You gonna route it right out of my driveway? The truck will come right out of my driveway, right over the old Jackson Road. Right? Is that where it's gonna be? I haven't heard any of that. But like I said, I'll let you deal with it because I know one thing at the end. You might not believe it. There's a God I serve, and he don't sleep. He does not sleep. And when he don't look at dollar bills, he look at people. And the ones that are there, they're not young people. We're not young no more. The thing we have to go through with, and now you're going to burden us with that. And as I can look out my window, look right across the street at the end of the driveway. What kind of building are you? What kind of company are talking about moving in here? Will somebody explain that to me? What company is moving in? What do they do?
We will address that as well. Sir, if you will, just address the board, okay? Just go ahead and address the board.
Say what now?
Keep talking if you like. Yes, sir.
I can't.
Talk to us, Fred.
Yeah. Mr. Fred.
Just keep talking to us.
Say what, Mr. Banks?
Just keep talking to us.
Just keep talking to them.
Just keep talking to us.
I just want to know.
He said they'll address it.
Mr. Manning, if you
He said
will,
they'll
just ask
address
him
it.
that
Okay.
we'll address that.
Yeah.
We'll address that. All right, we will address that as, yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Next, no, ma'am, you come on up.
Okay. My name is Thelma Myers. I'm at 1086 Old Jackson Road.
Put it mic down, forget it.
I'm at Thelma Myers. I'm at 1086 Old Jackson Road. I've heard the word industrial, but in your zoning zoning ordinance, there's light industrial and heavy industrial. And according to Article 23, heavy industrial, they said it is the intent of the ordinance that such heavy industrial district be located insofar as possible adjacent only to C3 major thoroughfare commercial or I1, which is light industrial, a limited industrial district, which shall serve as the transitional zone between I2 district and residential uses, and lower accessible to major thoroughfare or railroads. And according to Article 19, major thoroughfares, commercial C3, are railroads, I-55, Highway 463, and Highway 51. It does not say anything about Highway 22 as a major thoroughfare. So I want to know, will there be a transition of I-1 limited industrial between these properties and these residents that live in this neighborhood?
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you for your time.
Are there others who would like to speak in opposition? If there are, now's the time to do it. Yeah, I don't usually do that, but I will since you brought up 3 or 4 new items that wasn't addressed.
Thank you, sir. Again, my name's Nathan Evans. Thank you again for the time. Appreciate y'all addressing those legal points. I will have to say I drove by the site both south on Calhoun Parkway Station and on Highway 22 on Friday and this morning before this meeting, and I did not see any signs published out there. So could we get something on the record or pictures or something that meets that legal requirement? Because I would like to object just based on those grounds. I have seen no signage, and I don't think anyone else in here has either, if in the audience. You addressed the newspaper article. I cannot find it online. I'm not sure if they failed to post that online or not, but it is not on the Madison County Journal website. Although that's not legally a requirement, but that's where we get most of our information now.
But it is in the newspaper, and we have that in the minutes.
Okay.
So that's the
The,
legal aspect of it.
The other thing, property values, it was mentioned, I agree, it does increase property values for the surrounding area when it comes to this development. For those property owners that own A1 property that can be resold for an enormous amount of money. However, those of us that live in neighborhoods and residential properties, it actually diminishes the value of our property because we cannot sell our lots and have them rezone I-2 like the agricultural properties who have great opportunity to do so to the north and the west of this development. I do have a question for, I guess anyone who can answer it. Do we know how much of the 1,000-acre property that has been currently developed on the mega site at this point, and how much is free to be developed?
We will get that answer for you here shortly.
Okay,
Yes.
and our reason I ask is, again, MCEDA just bought the 400-acre Harold property, or is in process of buying that property to the north and the west. The other 300 acres of properties mentioned adjacent to the north that have been rezoned I-2. That's 700 additional acres that are available. I don't think the representation of no more land is available in the area is correct. And there are thousands of acres on A1 on north and west of the current mega site. So again, I would object based on the grounds that this current subject property is surrounded by residential properties and should not be rezoned I-2. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We're gonna go back at this point, maybe Mr. Deason or Mr. Jernigan can address two or three things. The 1,000 acres and I guess that was purchased, and also the mega site, how much has that been developed at this point?
Yeah, Mr. Steen. Of the 1,000 acres, Makita owns none of that property anymore. And the current layout for AWS shows basically, I'm gonna say 90 to 95% of that property being used. With regards to the 400 acres that we recently purchased, that is going to be sold back to AWS. So we don't own that property. The other 300 acres that keeps being referred to north, that's basically the $400,000, $450,000 an acre, $100,000 an acre, which is way more than what we as a community want to spend on that property, especially since it does not have any infrastructure that is located near it and doesn't have the access to the interstate. So that's why we're looking at the Jubilee property.
Okay, and AWS stands for?
Oh, Amazon Web Services. That they are purchasing that additional 400 acres.
Okay, thank you. And also, thank you, Mr. Deason. Also, Mr. Weeks? Yes.
If I can, there's been a comment about, what type of industries are going to be there. I can tell you that currently we have two projects that we have shown that site to. Both of those are advanced manufacturing, and all they do is assemble things. That's all they do inside the building. And together, it'd be about 1,300 jobs.
All right, let me follow up with that, Ms. Deason. Is that considered, as the young lady mentioned this few minutes ago, is that considered light or heavy?
It would be considered light.
So the zoning would be considered light under
Yeah, it's
the light
assembly
zoning.
work. They're taking parts and pieces and putting them together.
Well, I'm talking about the zoning at this point. Would it be considered?
Yeah, it would be considered I-2, I-1. Light manufacturing.
Okay, well, that's very important from what I'm hearing here as well. All right,
But there again, I want everyone to understand as well that we're going to put covenants, codes, and restrictions on there that's going to limit the heavy industrial use.
right, okay. Mr. Weeks, the signage was brought up again. Do you have the person that put the signage up? Or-
I will see if I can get the pictures. Now, I can't advise whether the sign is still there. I did get calls on them. We try to put them, they're required to be put on the property.
And-
Who put the signage up?
I put some up and William put some up. Now, he did
Okay,
put
so
one of
you
these
can,
up.
you can testify, verify that signage was put up,
Absolutely.
because you put one up at least.
I did.
Or two. Okay.
And,
That's,
and the issue with it is we try to put it where people can see it.
right.
Sometimes that's on them dots right away. They tend not to stay there very long, but we try to monitor them.
All right, can you address the light R2 compared to the heavy R2? I2, not
I2.
R2, but I2.
I-2 is one classification.
Okay, so it's not.
We don't
light
have an
or heavy.
I-1 or an I-2, we have an I-2.
So it's not considered light or heavy
No.
as far as,
We
zone.
do have a technical industrial park classification.
And what does that consist of?
The technical, that's for, I would have to pull my ordinance up, but it's a lot more restricted than the I-2.
Okay, is this something that this would fall under? Okay, that's what I was just trying to get to. Okay, anyone else would like to speak in?
Just clarification.
Okay,
You made
clarification.
reference-
Mr.
you
Manning.
were talking about I-2, heavy and industrial. If there isn't a distinction in why, in the petition that it says heavy, I mean, there has to be a distinction between heavy and you can look it up. There's a distinction between heavy and light. What he said is that they're gonna bring light things put in together, so why would you ask for a heavy classification rezoning if you don't plan to put anything, if there aren't any future plans to put anything heavy there? If there's not a plan to put anything heavy, why would we ask for the classification
Manning.
of I-2? I'm sorry.
That's okay, look this way.
I'm just passionate, that's the preacher
I
in me.
understand.
So why is that there the distinction for heavy if there's no plan for heavy? And I'm just putting what they put in the petition. The petition that I have on my clipboard says heavy. Now, common sense says any sensible person who may not be as astute in the law as they may be is going to look up what is heavy. You can take out your phone and you can look for heavy. Heavy is going to give you some stuff that you don't want in your area. If that's not coming, say that. If it's not heavy, say that. But don't ask for a rezoning for heavy and you're not going to put heavy. Make it plain. It's real simple. If you're not going to put heavy, don't ask for a rezone for heavy. Just say industrial. That would make sense. But when you make a classification of heavy, that means you're bringing some weighty stuff, some stuff that people don't want in their area, some things that people are going to have to fight for and really deal with some things because you're going to go down this rabbit hole and you're going to start looking for what does heavy industrial impact have on your community. And you're going to see some stuff that not just going to affect people in 1 or 2 miles, but it has potential to do something even farther reaching. So if it's not going to be that type of industrial development, then why ask for a classification rezoning for heavy? Because we hear that word.
All right, Reverend, I think we got you.
Okay,
I
thank
think we
you.
understand, what you're asking is, and I think I heard Mr. Weeks say that there's really not a light and heavy, in what you're asking for in I-2. Is that what I'm hearing you say? Yeah, let him answer that question.
How are you doing?
Is there a light and heavy classification in I-2?
Well, you can have light in I-2 because anything in I-2, you can have any other use in C1, C2, and technical industrial park. So you can have any of those uses in I-2.
Okay.
Now, I-2 is technical industrial park is research and lab facilities, fully enclosed light limited manufacturing, college technical schools.
Okay.
What classification is that
Technical industrial park
instead of I-2?
instead of I-2. But you can have any of those uses in I-2.
So if it had come in as technical industrial park, you can assemble stuff.
Yes, you could have anything in C1A. I don't understand why it's not C2 and everything, but just C1A. So it's a very light industrial park setting.
So I think what I heard Reverend Manning asked is, the application is saying heavy, when in reality it could classify as light.
Yes.
As far as possibly what Makita is thinking about bringing. So we'll address that as well a little down the road. Thank you, Mr. Weeks.
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Nancy Pate. I live at 122 Brown Drive, of course, Canton. The Jubilee property runs west of the area where I live, and it's between Calhoun Road and my house. It's impossible to put 150 feet buffer from Calhoun Road to my house, front and back. If you did 150 feet buffer, you would be sitting probably in my yard, because my property is running. They haven't discussed what's running west with the Jubilee property, just south. So there's a whole group of us living down adjacent to their property between Calhoun Road and High Subdivision. 150 feet buffer is not gonna do, because I could actually take a softball and throw it to Calhoun Road. So you're not gonna be able to do that down through that area. Yes, Calhoun Road is torn up, but I've ridden down Calhoun Road torn up to see. And I can actually see the properties. I can see the Bills, I can see the McElroys, I can see my property, I can see my neighbor Tony Bennett's property. You can see all the properties. So when you're talking about dropping it back from the road, it's impossible unless you're gonna be sitting in our yards. And the noise will affect us, the travel will affect us, and whatever you choose to do there, because just as Mr. Weems just said, if you zone that area high industrial, a lot of things can fall up under that. And once you get your vote to put those places there, you can do whatever you want to do. And that's not good. That's not good for any of us that live out there. And as our supervisor said, there are properties west of Calhoun Road that have great value. But those that are east of Calhoun Road, the property value has not grown and is not growing. And it'll only make that area more detrimental for those of us who live there. So when you discuss those properties running west that Jubilee owns, that's coming down through there, you won't be able to do those 150 feet buffers.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else would like to speak in opposition? If you would, just, both of y'all come on up and just, one, take the podium first and state your name and
Good
give
morning,
that.
my name is Karen Bibb. I'm at 103 Hill Road. I sit right on the corner of Old Jackson Road in the front of Hill Road. And where they are planning on building it is probably from here to you all. And that is not good for me, because I also have a business right there. And I will have kids outside, and that would not be healthy for them. And it won't be healthy for me, so I reject for all of it.
Okay.
And it won't be safe, because right now, we have 18 wheelers coming on that road late at night, and it keeps me awake all night.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. If there's anyone else like to speak in opposition, just please come and line up on the left.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Diane McMurtry. I live at 965 Old Jackson Road. I live in my mom's home. It's been there over 50 years. I can walk out of the yard into the street, probably where you are. I'm used to seeing cows across the street, which is no problem. Hey, it's good. I object to whatever they're doing, because I don't know, and I'm not into all of that, but, noise is noise. We are old. They're old people, older than I am. I'm 68 years old. And I've been there over 50 years, and I plan to live there till I die. And I'm sure I got a lot of my other neighbors feel the same way. So, consider us. We're not all of that, but we are people, and we love our homes, and we don't want to lose where we live. And I understand development the ideal of things have to move on, but move on somewhere else. Leave us alone, let us live in peace, and and just let us have peace. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you, ma'am. Next.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Jeanette Whittington, and I live at 1064 Old Jackson Road. And when I say 1064 Old Jackson Road, that means that I stay in the interchange of the Nissan Exchange and Old Jackson Road. So I have been there ever since they put the exchange in. So I am the house on the side of the road. which means that when Nissan came, they cut it off, and that's where I am. So I have seen everything, the development from the beginning to the end. So I saw Nissan come in, and I saw Amazon come in as well. And so now I have the esteem ability or the pleasure of sitting there every night and watching the convenience store night lights in my windows every night, the convenience store every night. Walk through my house and there's a convenience store. Never in 1,000 years would I have ever imagined that a convenience store would be across the street from my house. I never thought that ever in my lifetime, but that's where I am. And no, I do object to it. I do not want this to happen in my neighborhood, nor in my mother's neighborhood. I grew up in the Tin Top, and that's where we all are from, the Tin Top. And no, I don't want this to happen. I don't want us to be caged in or blocked in. We can't do anything. There's nothing for us to do. We're all caged in. That's where we are. And then there's another thing that I would like to bring up. I am from Pleasant Grove Missionary Baptist Church, and I know that we have been there for 151 years. And there was another cemetery that was there. And I know for a fact that where Amazon is right now, there was the cemetery once there. A cemetery was there, and it's no longer being found. And nobody has said a word about it, and nobody contacted us to say there was a cemetery once there. And we can't find it. And so I want to know whether or not someone can find the remains of that cemetery that belonged to Pleasant Grove Missionary Baptist Church before all of this happened. Did anybody look for it? Did anybody try to look for it or find it? Did they say were there remains or remembrance of it at all? But no, I object to this, and I don't want this to happen in our neighborhood, and I don't want to be blocked in. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else like to speak in opposition?
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Bradford Blackman, and I'm one of the state senators that represent this area. And there's just a consideration I want the board to look at. I know economic development can be a good thing, and one of the major concerns I've heard is that if this property is rezoned, what's going to go there? When we have businesses that are shown the site and they tailor-make what they build on the site is just for that business. And these businesses, they get economic incentives. And sometimes when those economic incentives go away, they leave. I know everybody's on the edge about Nissan right now. If Nissan leaves, we have a massive building, a massive property over there, and what can be done with it? Basically nothing. We're gonna have to try to find and beg another auto dealer to come down and fill that space because I don't know what you do with it. So that's a consideration I want the board to look at. If it does get rezoned, what's going to go there? If that business leaves, is there just a big old building there that is in all these people's way, that has caused all these people disruption? And then at that point, for what? Because we talk about what goes into the school district, but the tax incentives outweigh that by 10 times. They're fine to give us that.
Senator, if you will, let's stay on the rezoning.
This is on the rezoning.
I think it's probably off of the rezoning a little bit, but I'll just stay on the rezoning, please.
I'm on the rezoning because if it
Okay.
gets rezoned, something goes there and all these things cascade from it. It's not just one thing that goes
Right.
into the rezoning. So that's why that hasn't been addressed. And you asked that we come up and bring up new things and don't repeat things. So I came up to address something new. So that's where I was going with this. So I think it does dovetail into the rezoning because it's not just rezoning this one thing. It cascades into a whole lot of other things. Thank you.
Okay. I would like to ask, I think, Mr. Deason to address the Nissan if he can. Even though it doesn't have anything to do with the rezoning, but it does open up a question.
Yeah, it does. You know, anytime you encourage a company to locate into your community, your county, et cetera, there are no guarantees. There's no guarantees that one of us doesn't walk out and get run over by a truck. So with Nissan, they were the very first MMEIA project in the state of Mississippi. And that's the Mississippi Major Economic Impact Authority. It's the first project that went in front of the legislature. They celebrated 20 years last year. I too worked for GM for about 18 years, just north of Detroit. I've been a part of the automotive industry, and the automotive industry does this. You sell cars, you don't sell cars. It's up and down. But I can tell you that I visited Nissan 2 weeks ago, and they are very, very committed to this community, this county. They're very appreciative of the workforce and the labor and the commitment that we've given them in the past. And there are plans for the future. And I'm not at liberty to discuss those today, but I can tell you that they're committed and they're looking forward to the future.
All right, and one other, and I want to address this as well, because one of the ladies brought up about a cemetery, I guess where AWS is now.
Yes, sir. We did an extensive search through Headwaters Environmental, who did all the due diligence on the property. They researched it for 100 years back, and there was no cemetery to be found on that piece of property.
Okay, good deal. Senator Blackman, I didn't mean to cut you off on those, but I wanted to answer those two. Are there anything else you'd like to bring up as far as the rezoning on this? Okay. Okay, thank you for that. Anyone else would like to speak in opposition?
Mr. President, before you move on, I just wanted to point out, there was some discussion about adding the newspaper to the minutes. I don't know that we ever got a motion or a
All right,
second.
I'd like to make a motion to add the newspaper where it has clarification that it was noticed properly to the minutes. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Got a second? Greg?
Just while y'all are considering adding things to the minutes, there was also a letter placed in front of you from
I got it.
Mr. David.
I got it here, and I'm
Temple.
gonna do that one next.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Good deal. All right, we're gonna take this motion as far as the publication to it. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed?
I'd like to make a motion that we add Sandy and Dr. David Temple's letter.
Okay.
Okay.
Got a motion Supervisor Banks. I have a second. I'll second it. And what this is a letter that's addressed to myself and Mr. Banks that is in opposition of this as well, the rezoning from a Sandy and Dr. David Temple. I'd like to make a motion or to go ahead and put that into the minutes as well. Discussion on that. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed?
Let me say something. You know, usually someone wants to rezone a piece of property in a supervisor's district. They usually come to the supervisor to discuss that, usually. And if Ms. Thelma had not called me, I think Friday, I would not have even known that this was even on our agenda. You know, I pulled the agenda up and saw it. No one talked to me about it. If they had, I would have talked about the concerns of the Tin Top community and the Old Jackson Road community. Because I remember riding down that road when it was gravel, because my granddaddy farmed at the end of Old Jackson Road. My granddad is also buried at Pleasant Grove Cemetery. So that area has been near and dear to me all my life. And I know the people. Fred and I talked the other day. Was that Saturday, Fred? I think it may have been Saturday. But anyway, I just think that, and I know the Jubilee property is gonna sell, and somebody's gonna come in and wanna do some kind of rezoning, but they're gonna be able to answer more questions as to what's going there. And they're gonna be able to talk to, and they know that this community is active, so they're gonna get with the community and try to make sure that the community is agreeable to what's going there. There's no way that I could accept this rezoning against all the people that I know, been knowing, they voted for me, they've asked me for help, I've asked them for their help, I asked them for their vote, and I always told them I was gonna be in favor of them. I'd like to make a motion that we deny the petition.
All right, before well, there's a motion on the table. Do I have a second?
I second that motion with a question. The question is, all the people that are here that did not speak, that is opposed of this rezoning, stand up.
Democracy.
All right, you can have a seat. Thank you.
All right, we have a motion, but we're still in the public hearing. At this point, I'd like to go back to Makita, to Mr. Jernigan, to see if he would like to make a statement or address any of these concerns.
Before you get started, I got one question. What school district is this new property in, the Jubilee property?
Canton Public School
He
District.
missed that question, my question.
Is that it, Supervisor Baxter?
Yes, sir.
All right. Ms. Jernigan?
Thank you, Mr. Steen. Pastor, I've got a little preacher in me too, so I'll try to hold these words to. Board, we are very sensitive to the wishes of the constituents and the citizens of Madison County. And Makita will continue to do so. This is a very logical progression of the industrial development there on 22, which none of us can argue with. That has been the most fantastic thing to happen to this county and to this state in a long time. There's a long ways from today, if the property is rezoned, to anything that may be put there. And as Mr. Clark said, all of the concerns, questions, and so forth that the citizens may have about emissions, noise, dust, environmental matters, and so forth, can certainly be addressed at any time that a proposed use of the property is submitted to the county and a site plan is asked to be approved. So therefore, we would respectfully request that the board favorably consider this rezoning. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, discussion from the board at this point. Well, before we do, sir, did you have something you'd like to say?
Jeffrey Hawkins, 169 Hill Road. One point that kind of like has a question for me, what's the rush? I mean, what I understand that the process is that it goes through zoning and planning. Then they put their stamp on it, and then it comes to the supervisors. And I understand that in order to make it fit legally, that they petition to come directly to the supervisors and bypass that whole process. So my question is, what's the rush? What's really being developed and what's being asked? And why is there, again, a comprehensive plan based upon what that whole area is supposed to look like? And is it conducive to what has already been done? Because I'm quite sure you have a comprehensive plan based upon land use. What does it say about this particular area? So my question, why the rush in order to bring this for rezoning? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, at this point, we have a motion on the table and have a second to deny. Discussion from the board.
There's I know that property looked mighty enticing since you got Amazon right across over there on 22. But I'd say it over and over. You could come east of town, you wouldn't have these problems. Because the east and north of Canton, we open for business. Got plenty of property. Got major road, Highway 51, 43, 17. So that's why one of the reasons I'll be voting against it, because the people speak. And once y'all got up and start saying your addresses, Hill Street, all those streets, it came back into my memory that Hill Street run right into, what the road go down through there? Calhoun. And there's an open field right over there. So it made my thought reminded me, yeah, I used to patrol that area as a deputy. That's where that location talking at. And I know where y'all live at now. If you wouldn't have been here today and tell me where that was, I've been voting for it because I wouldn't know exactly where y'all live.
Okay, other discussion from the board? I do know, as president of the board, that this property is very important to everyone that's sitting out there. It's very important to the people that live around it. It's very important to Makita. And I see that there's a lot of, or I hear today that there's a lot of unanswered questions from the homeowners and a lot from the board members as well. So I'm gonna make a substitute motion. And my substitute motion is gonna be to send it to the Planning and Zoning Board for them to hear it. And in the meanwhile, hopefully, that the two groups can come together and address some of these issues that we've heard today. And if they can, that's great. And if they can't, then it'll end up back here at the Board of Supervisors over a period of time. But there's just a lot of unanswered questions that needs to be answered. And so that's my substitute motion. So all in favor of substitute, do I have a second first? I'm sorry.
I second that motion.
And all I'm doing here is really for the two parties to come together for communication. Because if it goes through, that's great, if y'all agree. And if you don't agree, then there's still open communications for everyone. And I think that's really what's missing, one of the things that's missing in this discussion and public hearing today. And that's all I'm saying is, let's come together, and if it doesn't work out, it just doesn't work out. And if it does, it's gonna be good for both parties. That's the reason I made the substitute motion.
And if this substitute motion, passed, don't y'all go home and go to sleep. And whoever present that to the planning board, let's have some maps so we can see where you all talking about putting different buildings, see where these people's houses are. Y'all know where y'all house at, but them planning board people, they not gonna know where your house. They gonna be just like me. They don't know where your house is, so they gonna need something where they can look and see you all's house and where they proposing to develop. That's if this plan, if this motion passed.
You know, all of Jubilee is being rezoned. And Jubilee goes all the way down to Hill Road.
Some of your planning board members, they don't know what Jubilee is.
Yeah, but the problem with it is just like Nancy said, in certain areas, you can't get 150 feet of buffer.
But that can be addressed. That can be addressed when the communications comes together. And that's all I'm asking is for the parties, to, ma'am. Ma'am. That's the reason that I wanted the communications to come together as one, because we're not totally sure exactly what's going on as far as what you're saying. So you'll have a good chance of communicating with Makita if his motion passes, and address exactly at a separate meeting everybody, y'all's concerns. And again, if it works out, that's great. If it doesn't work out, it just doesn't work out. But I think at this point here, we're missing that communication to try to move this thing one way or the other for sure. That's all I'm trying to say.
Mr. President, I would note you are in a public hearing, and the notice of the hearing today gave today's date or on a subsequent date to which the matter may be continued. Are you gonna put that to a date certain as a continuation of this public hearing?
Yes, since you put it to me that way.
I think the next, planning and zoning hearing would be, Scott, would December 11th?
December 11th.
Second Thursday in December is December the 11th.
Okay, I'll put that date down as the next planning and zoning. But in the meantime, I'm hoping that Makita, through Supervisor Banks, if his motion passes, will reach out and get every one of you involved in communication. Because you really need to know what's going on regardless whether this passes or not. You really need to
Mr.
stay
Chairman,
in
would you
tune.
want to lock in a date for that hearing when clearly if there's people that need to talk, they might not be able to do it by that date?
May
Why
not.
would you lock in a date? Why would you do that? And
I was just noting that the notice of the hearing today said a specific date to be continued, so I was asking the question.
Well, we probably need to put some date in, but it may be at the first of the year to where everyone, have some time to come. So why don't we just lock it in, the meeting in January? Because they're gonna have to be a lot of communication to happen here. If this motion passes.
That would be January the 8th.
January the
Looks to
8th?
me like, just looking at the calendar.
Okay, let's just lock it in January the 8th. And then if we need to extend it further than that, we can do that. So that's my motion. Supervisor Griffin, would you,
Yeah, I second it.
second that? Discussion. All right, we'll go with substitute motion first. All in favor of substitute motion, say aye. Aye.
No.
All opposed? All right, substitute motion passes.
And that was, Mr. Banks, you voted no?
Yes.
All right, everybody else was an aye.
Right. And the only reason that substitute motion is out there, ma'am?
Did everyone answer?
The what?
All right,
I wasn't sure if everyone answered. I didn't get all the answers from everyone. Yes.
all right,
It what, 4-1?
all in favor of substitute motion, say aye. Aye. All opposed?
No.
Who, you pointing at Supervisor Baxter?
Yeah, it's a yes vote.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. So, we have it locked in to January the 8th
Yes, sir.
to come in front of the Planning and Zoning Board?
That was my understanding of the motion.
Yes. Okay, sounds good, and, at this point, do I have a motion come out of the public hearing? Motion come out of the public hearing, Supervisor Baxter, do I have a second?
Oh, wait a minute, Mr. President. Sorry, I just want to make sure I'm right here. We've got the rezoning here. We also have another agenda item on the variance to these various properties. You want to continue that as well to the January the 8th?
Yes,
All right.
yes, because this is the most, this is the important one here.
Will we need to re-advertise? No, we've already, this is a public hearing that's been properly noticed, properly advertised, continued to the planning and zoning date of, January the 8th.
So my motion would take care of the second part as well.
Why don't you take it in a separate motion, because you've
Okay.
already voted on it.
All right, my, motion for a second would be, on the second to table it, and we are talking about the variance of the height.
That's right. You want to move it to the January the 8th?
January the 8th as well, and address it at the same time with the Planning and Zoning Board. I got a motion on the table, do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Supervisor Griffin, discussion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed?
Keep me down with no.
Okay, Mr. Banks is a no. And again, all of this is just to bring everyone together for communication. So, do I have a motion to come out of the public hearing?
Motion to come out of public hearing.
Motion come out of, public hearing, Supervisor, Griffin, second Supervisor Banks, discussion. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Thank y'all for coming and attending, and please stay for the rest of the meeting. You don't have to leave at this point, so. Okay, we're gonna,
Before we get back in the agenda, I'd like to make a motion.
can you wait just a second, or?
Yeah, yeah.
For them to clear, or?
Oh, yeah, it ain't, yeah, we can wait till they clear.
Yep.
What is that? Y'all better go get organized. Y'all better get organized.
I got it.
Plan the zoning meeting.
Oh, where you going back?
We'll move it next. Motion to it. Motion made by Houston.
Okay. That's a good little drive. Yeah, but still touch, I want to find out more about what's going on. Like I said, if you hadn't come, I would have known what you was doing.
Ma'am, I appreciate you being here.
She had drive all the way from Houston.
There you go. You bet.
Take care, Doc.
All right, guys, we still in a meeting. I think the sheriff is trying to
Yeah,
get
we
them
get
out.
everybody out.
But, you know, and there's one need to be aware of before they take these site plans.
I agree with you. All right, Supervisor Griffin.
Yes, I got a motion to, direct our planning and zoning director to, go and update our rezoning signs. The rezoning sign, and if they appeal to the board of supervisor, a different sign there. And once they get them updated, and we're gonna give them to the first meeting in January, bring it to the board of supervisors so we can see what it look like. Cause I hear too many times about people don't see the sign
Right.
and all that type. So we need to have some signs bright enough where I can see them, and I got 4 eyes. So that's my motion, update.
I'll second that motion.
Got a motion and a second. Mr. Weeks? You got it? All right, discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? At this point, we're gonna back up and.
Do we have anybody to record that motion?
Well, hey, they gonna have to come up. We're gonna take Mr. Daniel.
The recorders back there.
Mr. Daniel,
Hey,
come on
Ronnie,
up.
record that.
I'm not sure where our clerk is, but
Good morning. I don't know if I can follow that or not.
not sure you want to.
Yeah, you're right. I'll give it a shot. I'm Dan Papazan. I live at 113 Woodbury Place, Madison. I got a, I got a letter from the department asked about my homestead exemption back in middle of February. Said that I no longer had homestead exemption. I've been living in the house for over 20 years. They had some clerical error with my wife's social security number when they went to a different system, I guess, is what I've been told. And I sent a email to a Cheryl Houston, and she, we talked on the phone. She said that they were gonna have a meeting around the middle of April, after the middle of April, concerning this stuff. And they would, and I was under the impression it's probably, this whole thing is probably my fault for not checking into it before now, but she said that they were having that meeting and they were gonna discuss it, and I thought that was my notice to that I objected to not having my homestead exemption. It was not. So I guess what I'm asking for is to get my homestead exemption back. I assume I still have to go to the clerk's office come January and refile for this year's, but I need last year's. is what they took away from me. So I guess that's what I'm asking. So,
Okay. Have you talked with the tax assessor? Have you gone and talked with, Mr.
I've talked
Kennedy?
to a lot of different people. So.
If you would, you know, we need to start with the tax assessor first. So if you would, just,
Now,
start.
who is that?
Norman Kennedy. He's on the back row, right there. Raise your hand, Mr. Kennedy. There he is, right there, sitting. He was sitting behind you.
All right.
So if you would, maybe start there. Ms. Kennedy, do you have anything to
Now,
add?
I've talked to somebody else.
I do, how are you?
Well,
All right. Come on up.
He's
Mr.
correct.
If you would, let him, step aside and let him come to the mic, please.
I
Thank you.
think they originally filed for homestead in 2002 after looking at the file and reviewing the documents. And the Department of Revenue performed a thorough audit, and it may have been a new system. I can't remember what all took place there, but they caught this for 2024. It was a social security number was not written correctly on their application. So there was a chargeback issued. And we mailed, well, the Department of Revenue notified the Chancery Clerk's office. We received notice. And so we mailed a courtesy letter to them February 28th of 2025, notifying them that they needed to come in and update for 25 homestead purposes. We never heard anything, or they did not visit the office to update. So what needs to happen now is they need to come in. I would recommend walking across the hall and getting a homestead worksheet, which will tell you what you need to do between January 1, 2026 and April the 1st, 2026 to get the records updated and everything correct there. But that's what's happened.
Norman, is Mr. Papazon the only person in Madison County who got this letter?
No.
Okay.
There were a lot of them.
So, I'm not pointing fingers, I'm not blaming names, but the other people who got this letter, they came in, are they having to pay any kind of fee, or were they in some shape, form, or fashion put on the agenda as a correction that they didn't have to pay this fee?
We have heard from more than Mr. Papazon. I can't remember how many, and I can't remember how they were handled before the board. One more thing I would like to point out, what they've lost is their $300 credit for homestead credit. They are still Class 1 property, which is the real important part, because it could have been, you know, it could be Class 2 at 15% assessment rather than 10. So they are still Class 1 property. So they're missing out on their $300 credit for 24 and 25.
So was that $300 credit waived for other people who received this
I
letter?
can't answer that. I don't remember how many we've heard from or how they've been handled, to be honest
You
with
don't
you.
know how they've been handled?
No, this was brought to my attention late Friday that this would be on the agenda, so I felt like I needed to be here.
I'd like to make a motion that Mr. Papazon's letter be handled in arrears the same way everybody else's were handled. If everybody else had to pay the $300 and come in January 1 and re-up their thing, that's what I would like for him to do. If that was waived at some point, I would like for that to happen as well. And him coming in on January 1 and re-up his.
And that would involve the Chancery Clerk's office, really. Now, everyone will be required to update.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Regardless of the $300, I would like for him to be treated as everyone else. Whether they were timely in responding to the letter and that $300 was waived versus untimely responding to the letter and the $300 was not waived. I would like for his to be treated the same as if he'd come in the day after he got the letter in February.
We have a motion on the table. Do we have a second?
Second.
Got a second? I guess my question would be, and I don't quite understand your motion, because,
Clear it up a little bit.
well,
Everybody that missed the deadline, missed the deadline. So
Yeah.
we sent the letters out a month to 6 weeks in advance. So the rest of them were denied.
yes, and that's what I was that's what I'm trying to understand, because we're gonna treat everyone the same anyway. So I'm kinda trying to figure out why this motion will be on the table when we're gonna treat the situation all the same anyway, unless there's something that I'm missing here. I don't know the situation, but we're gonna treat them ever how the law says to treat them. I mean, we have to, and that's what we're gonna do. So I wouldn't think he would be treated, I would hope not, and I would not think.
And both offices mailed letters,
Yeah.
notices.
So with that motion, you know, I'm gonna vote against that motion just because I wanna make sure the motion doesn't get us in a bind against what the law says that we have to do. That's the only reason, because we're gonna treat you the same as we would anyone else.
And that's fine. I don't want to be treated any different.
That's right. That's right.
I was told to come up here because this is where I needed to address it.
Right. And that's
If I can get it handled today, I mean, that's great.
Right.
But I could have done this back in August, you know, when I actually called up there.
Right.
So, this was the step that they said I had to do in order to come up here.
That's
So
right. And you-
otherwise, I wouldn't even been here.
Well,
I wouldn't have gone through the hour and a half presentation.
Yes. Well, you always learn
You know,
something.
yeah, and you do. I mean,
But, you know, I'm gonna vote against the motion because I don't want it to put us in a situation that legally something else may come around to that, to put us legally, and I don't want this board, I don't wanna be on the record saying, hey, I wanna do something that's not right.
and what do I need
That's
to do? All I need to know is what
Not
do I need to do.
anything. You just stay there right there. We have a motion on the table. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. And that's the only reason. So right now, at this point, I think you go to Mr. Kennedy, and then he will walk you through. And hey, now, we'll promise you, you're gonna be treated just like everyone else. Okay. All right, we're gonna back up to where we should have been an hour ago on concerned citizens. All right, I think we got, Adam Dean and Bridgeford Rutledge coming up and talk to us about the R3 building code classification.
Yes,
So,
sir. Thank you. My name's Bridgeford Rutledge. I appreciate y'all letting me do this, and I know, given what we just went through, I'll keep it as brief as possible, but.
appreciate your patience as well.
Oh, no, it's fine. It was kind of fun to watch, but, my client is, planning to build a barn dominium at 176 Gus Green Road, and the fire inspectors took the position that, even though it's gonna be for residential use exclusively, that it would fall under the commercial rules for purposes of the building code, and particularly the fire suppression system. And I spoke with, Mr. Clark and Mr. Espy, and I actually spoke with the ICC, the International Code Committee, who writes the code. And, Madison has adopted the 2015 International Building Code, International Residential Code, and International Fire Code. The ICC is the group that publishes those, and I spoke with the lady who helps write them and interpret them. And essentially, what we'd like to do is request that the kind of position of the fire inspector's office be corrected so that this be treated as a residential property, which is what it is, which takes it out of the commercial code purview, which takes it out of requirements of things like a fire irrigation system that you'd see in a business. It still allows it to be put in there, but it puts it in the discretion of the homeowner, which is kind of what it should be. And I've given my research to and I've admittedly, it's complicated, and the codes are hard to understand, and they're arguably conflicting because you've got a building code and then you've got a residential code, and they work together, are supposed to work together, but a lot of times it's difficult to understand which applies and which doesn't. But in any event, it'll be exclusively residential use for the owners and their families, and the requirement that it be treated as commercial, as I understand it from talking to the fire inspector, was largely because it could be used for commercial in the future. And I made the point that there are procedures and rules in place for if that ever happened, it would have to be brought up to code to meet a commercial use, but it's not a commercial use, so you can't enforce restrictions on something for what it could be in the future. It's what it is now, and they have no intention of using it for commercial use. It's got particularly, I think one thing that kind of threw them off, it's got a mini basketball court in it. It's like a partial court, and the fire inspector was made the comment, well, you could, bring in people to do basketball tournaments, and I don't know if he said this specifically, but kind of along the lines of sell tickets and use it as a commercial facility, which is just not the intent. And if it ever became anything commercial, it would, just like if you had a house that you changed to a commercial use, converted into a restaurant, you'd have to bring it up to code and meet those requirements for its use, not what it could be now. So, and I asked the fire inspector I gave him the code sections, and I gave him the email from the ICC, and he essentially just said, no, I'm not. So I took the next step, spoke with Mr. Clark, spoke with Mr. Espy, and gave them the information I had, and so that's why I'm here. And I spoke with Mr. Banks to explain it to him. It's in his district, and asked that they essentially, I'm not sure how the procedure works, but instruct the fire inspector's office to consider it under the right classification under the building code.
I guess I'm not totally sure, Mr. Weeks, I'm not sure what piece of property he's talking about.
It's, off Gus Green Road.
Okay, is it classified as residential or?
Several months back, this was Peter DeBeekler's property that butted up to Newcastle. And he had a master development plan. Now, that master development plan went before P&Z on 7/10/25. It was approved and came to the board on 8/4/25. Then he submitted plans, and that's where this has come in, to build that residential facility.
So it's part of the Peter DeBeekler property?
That is the Peter DeBeekler property.
Yeah, I know
It's
what you're
zoned
talking
R1A,
Yeah.
so it's approved for residential use. He did amend the master plan.
Do we have anything in our ordinances where even if it's residential over a certain square footage, that it has to be sprinkled?
No, sir.
So if you built a 40,000 square foot house, obviously, this
Does
is not
not.
40,000 square foot, but there's nothing to say, hey, you gotta be sprinkled because it's so big.
Not in the residential, no.
And now who, I guess, why is this in front of us at this point if it's residential and?
Yeah, Norman.
Okay. All right,
Good morning.
good morning.
This was brought to my attention by the building and permit department called me. Said that the building inspector looked at the plans, the overall plans, and said minor needs to be involved with this because of the size of this project, of the building, what they call a barn dominium. And usually your barn dominiums have a permanent residence in them. And people will build a big garage on the end of it. So they have the residence there, plus they can bring their toys in. This building doesn't have a permanent residence. The classification is an R3, which is lodging. So the people that come and stay, even if they're owners, are considered transient because they're not the permanent resident there. This building is 11,800 square feet. Now, when I saw the plans, I said, yes, I need to look at it. And I look at the building, not what it's classified as, residential, whatever you want to call it, or commercial. I look at the risk of the building, and I bring out the fire code. And anything that's, it had 3 requirements to meet before it only has to meet one of them, the required sprinkling. And this is under commercial because there's no residents living at this place. Like I said, it's transient. They missed the 12,000 square foot threshold by 200 square feet. The occupation load, if it's over 300 people, has to be sprinkled. And this one, just for the gymnasium area, is over 1,000 people. Also, it's got dorm rooms upstairs in the R3 area. And if those rooms do not exit out to a floor level, they have to be sprinkled too. So they met 2 of the 3 requirements. The only one they missed was about 200 feet. This building is made out of metal, roof and walls. And I've been to a barn dominium fire before in the county where it was actually a resident that actually lived there, but they weren't at home at the time. And those fires are extremely hard to put out, and they hold in all the heat. And those people lost 9 pets. So, but fortunately, you know, no people were harmed in that. But whether this building is residential or commercial, the risk is the same on the building. And fire codes, they just don't come up with these codes to make people pay more for a sprinkler system. It's because of past experience that disasters have happened. And fire codes aren't also to protect the residents, also to protect the firemen who have to go in and fight those fires. And it's my job for the county to make sure nothing bad happens. And I don't want something to come up down the road, and I hope that nothing ever bad happens on this property. But have y'all seen the plans? Okay.
So what's the end use of this building? What's the proposal?
Well, it's connected to a baseball field. That the grass part of the baseball field is also a soccer field. And there's also on this property an office building that has 4 offices, a conference room, a lounge. That's a separate building to its own.
So is there gonna be money exchanging hands from the people that stay there to the owner?
No, there's no residents living here.
Is the building built for profit?
No.
I have no idea.
Recreation?
I'm just looking at a safety point of it.
Mr. Baxter, I can speak to that. Mr. Weeks and I met specifically with the property owners, and went over all of that in pretty significant detail, that this was only for family use, family recreation. I think you and your brothers have a number of children and are looking for a place to hang out and have a good time on the weekends. We made it very clear that if there were ever any intent or change to use this as a commercial facility, that is absolutely prohibited and would have to require a number of different submissions to have that approved.
So if the intent changed, just say, for argument's sake, we approve this without the sprinkler system. If the intent changed in the future, we'd have to back up and put a sprinkler system in. If the intent was to use it for commercial purposes.
I'll say also, yeah, Mr. Norman referred to it as a lodging house, and that, I mean, with all due respect, it's just factually not accurate. Under the code, Rule 202 defines lodging houses as where 1 or more occupants are primarily permanent in nature and rent is paid for guest rooms. They're just not leasing out rooms in this. And, I mean, his point is well taken, that it's a big facility. And, I mean, I live in a pretty big house. I could fit 300 people in my house also. But it's not sprinkled. I mean, granted, any building out there is safer with a fire sprinkler system. All of our houses are. But that doesn't mean, there's a lot of things that are safer that aren't required under the law, and that's why the code says it's permitted.
All right, thank you. Ms. Espy. Real quick.
Yeah, I'll be quick. I've talked to everybody. Mr. Rullis, I see this as a very large, very nice, but private residential recreational facility. Private. And I think we have to look at it for its current use. And if it, you know, I mean, I see the logic what Norman's saying. There could be basketball tournaments, but right now that's not the current or intended use.
Got it.
And it's desirable to put a sprinkler, yes, but it's not mandatory because it's private.
Okay, thank you. I don't think is there a motion or anything that we need?
Yeah, we need to go ahead and make a motion to approve them to go ahead and continue with their, what they're trying to do.
All right, got a motion, Supervisor Baxter, got a second, Supervisor Banks.
Mm-hmm.
And, discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed?
Bill, you bond a million.
There you go. That's it. Thank y'all. Thank you for your patience as well.
Also, just last thing, Mr. Espy made a good point, was that even if it's not required, that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. And then he asked,
That's right.
I talked to the homeowners about considering doing it anyway, and I've done that, and they're considering that. So I just, for what it's worth, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, we're gonna move down to acknowledge court order.
Are you going to jail, Greg?
Depending on how this conversation goes, I may well.
I'll give you some money for the commissary.
Well, thank you.
bond you out.
Well, I would like to start this by giving credit to both Mr. Espy and the sheriff's deputies for, in fact, keeping me out of jail.
What is this court order about?
This court order is a direct result of the construction work at Fred's. As this board is aware, we are looking to renovate the circuit courthouse. In order to do that, I need to empty the circuit courthouse, which means I had to find a place for them to go. The only place we had available was the temporary space in Fred's.
Who are you talking about, they?
Circuit court, that would be, and circuit clerk for that matter, anybody who is currently housed in the building across the street there.
Okay.
So the contractor has been working on the temporary circuit court space in Fred's now for right at a month, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, so it's been about a month. Obviously, construction does include some noise, and there have been times where it has been noisy in there. A couple weeks ago, they were essentially firing a .22 to drive things into concrete. That wasn't the issue. The issue came about on the 30th of October. At 10:36 a.m., I received a phone call from the contractor indicating that the judge had summoned her over to the courtroom for noise.
What judge is this?
This would have been County Court Judge, Judge Hannon. He summoned the contractor, rather than picking up the phone and calling me. So the contractor calls me. It admitted that they were drilling through a center block wall, but they had stopped. Okay, well, keep going then. If you're through being loud, there's no reason to hold up the project. They continued on for another couple hours. At 1:38 p.m., I received a second call from the contractor. Now, bear in mind, between 10:36 and 1:38, there was no communication. At 1:38, I received a second call from the contractor indicating that the judge had yet again summoned her to the courtroom. After I got the phone call, I was on the Zoom. I hopped off the Zoom and began walking over to the Fred's building. And to be clear, the contractor was under very, very specific instructions to keep doing exactly what they were doing so that I could figure out the noise level. And they did. So finished what I was doing, hopped over to Fred's. There were 4 guys on lifts, stapling insulation to ductwork. So the noise that was in play at around that time was the noise of a staple gun. That's it. Shortly thereafter, in fact, as I was walking over, the sheriff's deputy was driving over here to give me the court order demanding we stop. So we passed like ships in the night. Eventually, I got the court order around 2:15. I called Mr. Espy. Mr. Espy told me that we needed to stop work. So since that point, work has been stopped.
At both places?
Well, sir, yes, it is
Even
all
on
one
the-
project.
On the, current courthouse, circuit judge?
We hadn't begun the work over there until we could finish the work at Fred, so yes, sir, by extension, the
Yeah.
whole thing is stopped.
Sound like we could save some money.
Now, we really need to figure out how to move this thing forward, because that's part of our larger plan, is to be able to move the circuit judges over here temporarily until we remodel the current courthouse that we have behind us.
Very much so.
I mean, because if that's stopped, and how much longer, do we like finishing this over here at Fred's?
60 days?
2 months? We'll be
Give or
through
take.
by the first of the year.
Yes. The idea is for us to spend most of December emptying circuit and moving them over so they can begin the new year in the temporary space.
Were there any complaints to any of the board members or to you prior to October the 30th, as far as noise from the judge?
None for me.
No, sir, I checked my correspondence, and there's zero correspondence between the judges and myself.
Thoughts from the board?
We can save some money.
I'm not sure how you plan on going down that road, but you can explain if you'd like.
I guess Mike said, can the judge
Lead it,
send a court order like that? I thought the judge just control his or her courtroom, not anything on the other side of the wall.
All right, Mr. Esper.
I'm off for saving $17 million myself.
I understand where you come from.
So I read the court out. I got a call from Mr. Higginbotham. He sent me the court order. Court order signed by two judges, Judge O'Neill and Judge Haddon. It basically says that the noise is disruptive and interfering with court proceedings. But it also says, it suggests that if there was no communication based on the schedule of when the court proceedings would be held, that the project work could continue. So I think there's a lack of communication between when the jury's there or the court's proceeding. I understand that there shouldn't be any disruptive noise. Probably not. It's a court proceeding. But when the court's not in session, or there's no jury or something there, then why couldn't it proceed? So I'm just saying, I just asked that I said, we have to honor this because there two judges are telling you that noise disrupting court proceedings, not court proceedings.
Right.
So just find out when the court proceedings are being scheduled and work around it, or go send somebody there to talk to them about it. So I didn't see this as an everlasting thing to say stop. It's saying it's anything with court proceedings.
So do they need to amend their order just to cover court proceedings and we move forward?
I think the order could be rescinded if someone talked to them to talk about schedule of court. That's what I believe.
Greg, you need to hurry up and get you a building and ground director.
Do we know how often they have jury courts in session? I mean,
Not frequently. I am aware of one jury trial since they moved in. Now, there may have been others. I am aware of
Was
one.
there one Friday?
No.
I guess my question, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, that was.
I guess my question is, why wouldn't they just come and just call you and just sit down and say, hey, we have this issue, how can we work through it? That's a concerning part that I have. You know, we just built a new courthouse and they're in it now. The two judges that signed this court order, theirs is brand new and they're in it. And all we're trying to do now is get the other 5,600 square foot, adjacent to them, ready to move the circuit judges in there temporarily for probably a year or 15 months to redo the current courthouse and then move them back out. I mean, it's not hard.
Shouldn't be.
to do. So I don't quite understand it, but
I think we can definitely work with the judges and get maybe a specific activities that they do that don't need to be interrupted by noise and build a schedule around that.
I think we can do that. But my whole key is, they should have just walked across the street or called you. And we could have done this without a court order.
My phone and email both work, and they have both been invited to use it multiple times.
And that's the reason I asked you at the very beginning, have they said anything to you or to any of the board members about noise prior to that?
No.
So, all right.
Cool.
Suggestions?
Save $17 million.
Change messengers. That might be that messenger.
Carl, when you say,
Instead of Greg.
That's probably fair.
when you say save $17 million, you talking about the big courthouse renovation?
Shut it all down.
We can't.
I mean, that's one of the reasons we over there working in Fred's is because of that.
That's right.
Yeah, it's Stacy and this Hannah, O'Neill and Hannah, you know, they enjoying their new courtroom, they don't
Won't
want the
nobody
other
else
judge,
get
they don't
one.
want the other judges to get a new courtroom.
I think we probably get some action then, but I hope we can resolve this, so I would, who was that mentioned, Supervisor Griffin?
Chain messengers.
I would ask, both of them, because Greg needs to be involved, because it sounds like this may not be the last issue that may be coming up. If they would just do a knee-jerk court order like this, so Supervisor Griffin, I don't think we need a motion or anything, I think we just probably ask both of them to communicate, work together on it.
Yeah.
And then that way, everybody'd be in communication, so. Alright. So,
Fair enough.
Greg, Mike?
Are you asking me to meet with them? 'Cause
Yes, I'm asking for
Okay.
both of, we're asking for both of y'all
Okay, all right.
to meet with them, and let's get this project back on track, because
Okay.
we got a time schedule we gotta meet.
Yeah.
And we need to meet that time schedule. So, it's like today, tomorrow.
Yeah.
And if they can't meet with you, then we'll back up.
It's a bigger problem.
It's a bigger
Yes.
problem.
It's
So do
bigger
we
problem.
need to?
We gonna go
do
with
anything
Carr's
to
recommendation in.
Lift this court order to say we say that we're going back to work?
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean-
we're not going back to work yet until we meet with them.
Okay, but I'm just saying,
How
is
much
there
per
anything
day are
we
we
need to do to say?
paying, how much per day do we have to pay the contractor to not work?
Well, this contract, as you mentioned, Supervisor Banks, is about a $17 million contract over 18 months. So slightly less than $1 million a month, or between 25 and 30,000 a day. So we got this order on the 30th. We won't count that one because I didn't tell them to stop work till about 2. So Friday and Monday, this board is out roughly 50 grand, give or take.
Okay.
Now, that kinda woke me up a little bit more.
You didn't think about that, did you?
Yeah. Guys, we need to be talking to them today.
Yeah.
And if they do not, we really need to call a special session and address this thing. Because this is
Waste of money.
This is serious. I mean, this is uncalled for, to be quite frank with you. Very much uncalled for, without communication. So, anyway, we're gonna, as Supervisor Brandon asked, are there anything else we need to do with this at this point as a motion or anything, Mike?
No.
Okay.
You can acknowledge the order. That's what he wanted you to do.
All right, we got a motion to acknowledge the order. Do I have a second? All right, lack of second, we don't even acknowledge the order. You gonna second?
Yeah. No, I don't want to acknowledge the
No,
order.
it was not.
I thought he-
Greg didn't give it to
I
us.
thought he said ignore the order, I didn't know.
Guys, we need to acknowledge,
Acknowledge, oh,
we need to acknowledge this.
I was on the ignore part.
No, we need to
You can
acknowledge
disagree
this
with
order.
it, but you have to acknowledge it.
Yeah, we
Greg
need
didn't
to.
give it to us.
All right, we got a motion. I make a motion to acknowledge, and which one of y'all which one of y'all want to second that?
Supervisor Brandon seconded that.
All right, Supervisor Brandon second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. We're not even gonna discuss it.
Okay,
We're gonna move on.
good deal.
All right, I think we got it under control. All right, we're gonna get down to, consent items. Anything on the consent item, anyone would like to pull?
I don't think so.
Let me look here. I'm gonna pull item 6. I'm gonna make a motion to approve everything else except item 6.
Motion.
Got a motion, got a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, I'm gonna leave that up, item 6, left up to anyone else.
Okay, item 6.
I'm gonna make a motion, well, I'm gonna make a motion to approve it, item 6, and a GIS, director, $5,000. That's my motion.
All right, we got a motion on the table.
I'll second.
Got a second, Supervisor Banks, discussion. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? No.
No.
All right, we're gonna move on to, Albert Jones, business items.
Alvin Jones. Business.
Ms. Jones in the house.
Yeah, I was back. I'm going lunch.
He could be. Ms. Jones,
Getting close.
good morning.
Good morning.
I guess it's still morning.
Yes, slightly.
I'm here, with line item 51 for the city of Ridgeland, asking you all to approve.
Yeah,
Line item 51.
Got a move Supervisor Banks, second Supervisor Steen, discussion. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed. Item 52.
Also, item 52.
Got a motion Supervisor Banks, got a second.
Motion to approve.
I got a motion by Supervisor Banks.
Yeah.
Who's gonna second?
Oh, then I'll second.
Yeah,
Got
yeah.
a second Supervisor Brandon. All in, discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Tim.
Mr. Bryant.
Let's speed this thing up a little bit. You got
Oh,
one
mine shouldn't
time.
take more than 45 minutes. First item I have is final plat for Southampton Garden Homes of Caroline Phase 2. This is a development right by Supervisor Banks' house.
Right
It's 4
behind my
lots.
house.
Yeah, right behind your house.
Put
It's
down
4
all the
lots
nice
on
pine
1.34 acres. There's no public infrastructure associated with this
All right,
development.
Supervisor Banks, what you say?
I don't know, I'm thinking about it. They keep up so much noise when I'm out there watching football on Saturday with that bulldozer and stuff. But I'll go ahead and make.
Got a
the
motion Supervisor Banks. Do I have a second? You gonna second it?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, you don't have to now. You second? I don't wanna put something in.
Did Carl make the
I'll
motion?
second the motion.
I
All in
made the
favor say
motion.
aye. Aye, all
I had to
opposed.
discuss the noise factor, but, I went ahead and made the.
All right,
motion.
item 54.
All right, next item is a proposal for right-of-way acquisition and land surveying for the Livingston Vernon Cedar Hill Road realignment with Highway 22. This is for $101,009.50. with
Got a motion Supervisor
with
Banks. Do I have a
McMasters and
second?
Associates.
Second Supervisor Banks with discussion. All in favor say aye. Aye, all opposed.
All right, next item is the White Oak Farms Phase 1 revised. If you'll remember, this was brought to you last board meeting. There was a error with one of the roads. Both roads were named the same thing, so we're bringing the exact same plat back for you with the road name revision.
Okay.
Got a motion by
Move.
Supervisor Banks. Do I have a second? Second Supervisor Banks, discussion. All in favor say aye. Aye, all opposed.
Next item I have is supplemental agreement number 3 with Reunion Parkway, Phase 3. No, Phase 2, I'm sorry. This is to add $20,508.96 for pay item number 620B04. This is for 96 feet of 58 by 36 pipe that was not used on the job. And what it does is we pay for the cost of the pipe. It is going to be brought to the road department. It also pays for some time, extra time that was generated with the job.
All right, do I have a motion? I'll make a motion for approval. Do I have a second? Second Supervisor Banks, discussion. All in favor say aye. Aye, all opposed.
All right, one final thing, as a notice to the public. C-Spire is going to be closing DeWeese Road in between Saddlebrook and Ashbrook Trail next Monday through Wednesday. They're going to have a detour route that will go around Catlett. They are assuming all legal responsibility for this. As part of that, I asked that this letter that assumes all legal responsibility for that be entered into the minutes.
Hey, Tim, are they gonna be drilling?
No, there's a tower in between those two roads on DeWeese, and they're setting up a crane to add a new antenna or something on that pole.
Has that letter been looked at by the attorney?
It's not, but it's straight off of our permit for.
Give it to our attorney, let him look at it. Anything legal needs to go straight to him. Or Mike, you can look at it and we can come back to it.
Okay.
Also, Tim, I know you're involved as well. We're going to, now may be a good time to say that we're gonna have a ribbon cutting on Reunion Crossing, November the 13th at 2 p.m.
Yep, we are.
November the 13th at 2 p.m. There, and it'll be close to the bridge on the west side of the bridge. and I know you're heavily involved in that as well, making sure the project is absolutely finished.
Correct.
So, but
The
anyway,
road will
that's-
be open the next morning.
It'll be open the next morning, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Tim.
All right.
Looks fine, they're gonna hold us harmless from liability.
All right, I'll make a motion for approval to put that letter into the minutes. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second Supervisor Brandon, discussion. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. All right, Mr. Weeks, you're back up.
Back up. First item I have is the draft minutes for planning and zoning, October 16, 2025.
Got a motion Supervisor Griffin. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second Supervisor Banks, discussion. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed.
Next item, District 51 site plan, this on Highway 51, District 5, approved by P&Z 10/16/2025.
Motion.
Got a motion Supervisor Griffin, I'll second, discussion. All in favor, say aye. Aye, all opposed.
Next item, James Robertson, conditional use for a private family cemetery, 341 Gus Green Road, Supervisor District. I lost that part of my page, but 4, I believe.
Gus Green Road.
Put that
How many
cemetery right by that big old barn.
Ms. Banks, you got a motion on that?
How many acres is this?
It's not, just a small,
It's just for the
I think
family.
it's something like 2/10 or 3/10.
I think it's
something
3/10.
of that nature, I read in there. It's not large at all, if I read it correctly.
I'll make the motion.
Motion Supervisor Banks, I'll second it, discussion. All in favor, say aye. Aye, all opposed.
Next item, GST Capital Partners, conditional use for a cell tower off Dickerson Drive in Flora, that's in the Kearney Park area, Supervisor District 4.
Oh, yeah, move on that.
Motion Supervisor Banks, do I have a second? I'll second it, discussion. All in favor, say aye. Aye, all opposed.
Next item, Turkey Ridge Holdings, conditional use for a mining operation. This is an expansion on Highway 22, Supervisor District 4, approved by P&Z 10/16/2025.
Move.
Motion Supervisor Banks, do I have a second? I'll second it, discussion. All in favor, say aye. Aye, all opposed.
Next item, Michael R. Smith Senior. I did make an error, but it was a rezoning on A1 to I2. The advertisements were for I2 in the paper. The notices to the surrounding landowners, the petition, everything specifies I2. That's just a error on my part. It's on Old Jackson Road, Supervisor District 4, approved by P&Z 10/16/2025.
On Old Jackson Road. What's going on?
That is just to the north of the Utah property. And we had some members from that community come in at that meeting. And they just basically, what was it, Mr. Clark? They just wanted to know what was going over there.
They just had questions as to what it was gonna be and what the process, the current process was.
Yeah, what is it gonna be?
Mr. Lawler?
So Scott, you say this should be rezoning from A1 to I2? Correct. Okay.
And the documents in the minutes
Yeah.
and everything.
Says that.
It's between the, let's see, okay,
Utah Construction's property.
that road, Hall Road,
Hall Road is to the north of that, and then I think, Mississippi State property is in the city of Canton on that other road.
okay, what,
The property is along the city of Canton line.
Yeah.
It's property to the south of that line, and on the south side of it is the Utah property.
okay,
To the north is the Southern Sky and the medical facilities,
yeah,
okay? And there is no specific intended use at this moment.
I hate that. Okay. And I guess you're satisfied the neighbors,
You know, we had neighbors in attendance at the public hearing held on October the 16th.
we were just talking about, I-2 to some of the neighbors, earlier. Couldn't lock this up too.
I seem to recall that.
He said back there, be mighty quiet, he didn't say a word.
Okay, it's 89 acres. Okay,
Yeah, it's 89 and a half acres.
Yeah.
okay. Okay, I'll make the motion.
Motion Supervisor Banks, do I have a second? Got a second, Supervisor Griffin?
Yeah.
Did you
go
second? Oh, I
Go
thought I
ahead,
heard somebody say,
Take
you
a
second?
chance.
Let Trace second.
Yeah, I take a
Trey?
chance on this. That's a
I know
surprise.
better than that. So, we got a motion, got a second?
Somebody second.
I think. Huh? Oh, I thought I heard you say it. You second?
I go and give it to Casey.
Casey, okay. Supervisor Casey seconded then, as long as we got a second. Discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed?
Next item, LH Harris Construction. This is conditional use on a mining operation that is located on McMillan Road. Supervisor District 2 was approved by P&Z on 10/16.
Casey?
Second.
Got a motion
I'll
Supervisor
second the
Baxter,
motion
second
on
Supervisor,
McMillan
oh, are you
Road.
too late?
Yes.
Motion Supervisor Baxter, second Supervisor Griffin, discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed?
Next item, AWS, is the site plan for their next phase at the mega site. Supervisor District 4 approved by P&Z 10/16/25.
I'll make that motion.
Got a motion Supervisor Banks, second Supervisor Griffin, discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed?
Last item, preliminary plat for Madisonville Phase 3 off Yandle Road, Supervisor District 5.
Motion.
Motion,
Build more
sir.
houses on in there.
Second.
Got a motion Supervisor Griffin, second Supervisor Banks, discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed?
No.
That's all I have, gentlemen.
Pass by the Harris, chili.
Yeah,
Okay.
that did get through.
All right, Mr. Espy.
Who developing is this? Scott?
This is-
Who developed it? Is it Robinson?
I think you're correct. What's the name?
Robinson.
I think you're correct.
What's his name, JD?
Yes, I believe that.
Okay.
Land
right.
sale.
This is a land purchase agreement for the 3.7 acres in Cobblestone area. I think it's to build the tax assessor's office in Madison. So I recommend approval.
All right. And this is the land agreement? Okay.
Land sales agreement,
Yeah, land sale agreement that we're looking at tax assessor's bill.
yes.
Okay. I'll make a motion for approval.
I'll second.
Second Supervisor Banks, discussion?
I'm just gonna go on the record that I, again, do not agree with the purchase of this land's purchase. I think this is a superfluous use of buildings. Last week, everybody up here expounded the use of technology, and here we are spending $1 million to be able to build $7 or $8 million, to basically go as far away from technology as possible by creating extra space that we don't need for this. I have had the pleasure of going up to the current building 3 times this year because I own 3 vehicles and they all had tags reviewed. This last time was in September. I waited till payday at lunchtime on a Friday at the end of the month to go get my tag. I walked directly into the building. There was 2 cars in the parking lot, including mine. I walked directly to a teller, got my tag before the person in the drive-through, who was only one person, even got helped. They would have been better served coming inside to the other teller who was sitting there doing nothing. And therefore, I just don't see a need for the extra capacity for the tax assessor, tax collector building beyond maybe a week or 2 in January.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Only thing I'm saying is just the same thing we just talked about as far as the Fred's building. You know, we do need to update our buildings and keep up with what's going on in Madison County. This building is very much needed. We've heard from the tax collector, tax assessor within the last 3 months, 6 months. and they confirmed that as well, and that's all we're trying to do is just bring Madison County's buildings up to where it's needed, so. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed?
No.
Okay, let's move on, Greg.
All right, good morning, Board. I've got a few for you, and I'm gonna keep them real short. 67 is a $23,000 change order to keep the brick from crumbling off the top of the old courthouse. That project is still well within the money. We budgeted 1.1. They bidded it $1 million, but we knew darn good and well there would be something like this, and I would expect one or two more, if I'm being honest.
I got a motion for approval. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Supervisor Banks, discussion. All in favor, say aye. All opposed?
Item 68 is actually two separate requests for the county's opioid funds. There is one request from Judge Mills and Adult Drug Court. That is the one that was before you all last meeting. There has been an additional request from Judge O'Neill, which is the county court, for youth drug court funds. This board can do as they see fit with that money. It is essentially general fund money.
I thought we approved, Judge Mills.
No, sir. My understanding was y'all wanted me to bring it back when I got the request from O'Neill, and the reason why I was so confused last meeting is I didn't have that request from O'Neill yet, so I had no idea what you were talking about. I didn't get the request until the 28th. So now they're both in front of you all at the same time.
All right, I'm gonna make a motion to approve Judge Mills, and I'm gonna, in the same motion, to table Judge O'Neill and Judge O'Neill's, until we can get things worked through. So that's my motion. Do I have
I'll
a
second that motion to approve Judge Mills. Of course, if you take the $10,000 that we got and give it to Judge Mills, won't be no money left to table, will it?
Well,
there'll be
yes,
some.
they're asking for 10%, not 10,000. Sorry, it's a
Oh,
percentage.
Yeah,
So
that'd be mine.
it's about 24 grand.
Okay.
And which
Okay,
I'm not
well,
opposed to
we'll
any
table
of it.
it.
It's just a matter of, guys, there's gotta be some good
Well,
communication. We all in this together.
I'd like to put a substitute motion to approve both.
Okay.
Okay.
Got a substitute motion to approve both. Do I have a second? Lack of a second, go back to the original motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed?
Okay, item 60.
Anybody opposed? Do what now?
Mine's aye.
Okay. All right, we're moving forward to
69, which is a CDBG mandated public hearing that we would like to have in this boardroom on November 14th at 10 a.m.
Oh, good.
Well, we don't have to be here.
I gotta make a motion for approval. Do I have a second?
I'll second that
Second,
motion.
Supervisor Banks, discussion. All in favor, say aye. Aye, all opposed.
Right, item 70 is a request that this board accept the donation from the Canton Garden Club. They have offered to put down some sod outside the fence at the historic courthouse at their own cost.
Make that motion.
Got a motion Supervisor
Second,
Banks,
get
second
free sod.
Supervisor Griffin. And you're right, free landscaping, so discussion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed. And this way, it's needed.
It is, and they've been great partners, so thank you to the Canton Garden Club.
You bet.
Yeah.
All right, son, Comptroller.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Item 71 is approval of the budget amendments and the interfund cash transfers.
I'll make a
make
motion
that
for
motion.
approval. Second
Second.
Supervisor Banks, discussion. All in favor, say aye. Aye, all opposed. Item 7, I'm sorry.
72 through 74 is a general claims docket and 2 payroll dockets.
I'll certainly move on that.
Got a motion Supervisor Banks, do I have a second?
Second.
Second Supervisor Griffin, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Supervisor Banks, would you take the next item?
I'll be more than happy to.
Pay some bills.
Okay, item 75.
Yes, sir, that is for the Fleet Corps claim docket.
Okay, can I get a motion on paying the gas bill?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second to pay for
All
the
in
diesel.
favor? Aye. All right.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, is running lot.
Nothing, Mr. Vice President.
Running lot.
Randy,
Chief.
sure.
Two items. The first is I would like to provide your clerk with a copy of the inmate meal log for October of 2025, if you could acknowledge that.
I'll move.
Got a motion Supervisor Banks, second Supervisor Baxter. All discussion, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed?
I would also like to provide with you, clerk, and ask you authorization to bill the Mississippi Department of Corrections for August 2025 inmate housing and medical in the amount of $1,089.71.
I'll make the motion to have a second.
I'll second that.
Supervisor Banks, discussion, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Thank you, Chairman.
This gentleman back here has been patiently waiting through this whole meeting.
Okay,
I think, you wanted to see the board?
come on.
Yeah, come on up.
Then. Give us your name and address, and since you've been waiting patient, hey, we'll give you more than 2 minutes.
I thank y'all. My name is Tony Bennett, and I stay at 134 Brown Road. And my concern is about the church on King Ranch Road and across from the Roger Park. And they put us on freeze. I wonder why.
They did what now?
They froze us not to build no more, and we just want to know why we not continue building the church.
Oh, you talking about the
Right.
church been sitting there for years?
Yes.
That's in the city now.
That's in the city.
Right,
It's
it was
all-
in
no,
the, it was in the
it's
county,
not now. It's
now
always
it took it over to the city, and then they just froze us right in the middle.
It was always in the city.
The city
Initially,
just
it was
froze,
in the
y'all.
city.
Just froze, and we try to put bricks up and keep them falling down, and,
Well, you got a new mayor now,
okay.
and
Yeah.
probably some new aldermen.
But
We
it
have
served,
at least one in here today.
Yes, right.
yeah, the mayor was in here today,
Well, and the alderman.
and there was an alderman in here today.
Yeah.
I guess our answer to you is you'll need to go to City Hall here in Canton
Yeah.
and ask them, from
When is
what
their
I'm
board
hearing.
meeting, do we know?
not sure.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah.
They're gonna have a work session this afternoon, it's Monday, and they have a work session before.
Y'all definitely need to do something, cause y'all waste a whole lot of money out there.
And we
I
still
think
paying
you
money.
need to see Donald Lawrence in building and grounds, in building and whatever they call that, over at the city hall.
Don't went back to work up there.
Yeah, Donald Lawrence went back to work up there.
Okay.
So I guess what we're saying is City Hall would be the appropriate stop at this point. Man, we hate you had to sit back there for that short answer,
Well, I just,
you know.
Yeah, but
We like to see good
he
numbers.
was enjoying this stuff.
I enjoyed all of it.
Okay, thanks, sir. You bet.
All right, then.
All right, we have, old business.
Oh.
We have new business.
Somebody got some old lady to walk.
We have some old business. Tim?
I've got one thing that I screwed up and forgot to put on the agenda, and to help a developer out, could y'all give me a little leeway and let me do one more subdivision?
All right, talk to
All right,
us.
sir.
I've got the final plat for Grand Oak subdivision. It's 13 lots on 84.94 acres. This is off of Cane Creek Road. And it's the final plat for that development.
I'll make that motion.
Got a motion, do I have a second?
Second, whatever Cane Creek is,
It's
Second,
over there.
yeah.
is over there.
District 4,
Second Supervisor Griffin, discussion. How many lots is it?
13.
13.
Those are large lots.
They are large
They
lots.
Mhm.
Yes, sir.
All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed.
All right, thank
Okay,
you.
Good deal. Thank you, Tim. All right, any old business
Yeah, I
besides
got
that?
one that, really left off of the list on, number 6. The, emergency management director. I want to make a motion to add, 6,000 to his salary.
I'll second that motion.
Got a motion Supervisor Griffin, got a second Supervisor Banks, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed?
No.
Okay, I don't quite understand the no. Supervisor Brandon, because you just voted yes on about $100,000 worth of pay raises on item 6, and vote no on the emergency management person.
Why are you calling me out? I didn't hear you vote.
I voted in favor of it just because I'm just trying to be equal to them now.
You voted no against the other one, and now you're calling me out for my vote.
Come on, y'all, don't
Somebody
fight,
else
don't
voted.
fight.
Oh,
I would like to
All right,
hear your vote.
Let's move on.
I
I
gotta
would
go
like to
back
hear
to
your
my
vote. Was
office.
it an aye?
We
or-
just
Yeah,
about
that's
get through this
Who's
meeting,
that?
that's fine.
Yeah, mine's aye.
Okay.
All right, what we got next? Anything else, executive session?
One item.
One item.
No, we had.
All right.
Session.
Got a motion to go in closed termination?
I'll make that motion.
Motion Supervisor Banks, second Supervisor Griffin, discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. Motion to go into executive session.
I'll make that motion.
Got a motion Supervisor Banks, I second discussion, all in favor?
Since the law you bring it up, it's gotta be litigation.
Litigation. And all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Tight, 'cause we gotta have,
If the light's not on, there it is on
All
there.
right, we back out of the executive session, Mr. Clark.
Madison County Board of Supervisors took no action in executive session.
Thank you. Greg, you have one other item
you
you'd
got,
like to
Greg?
present to the board?
Request that we pay the inspectors, that'd be Hudson, Williamson, and Noble, given these invoices, which I will provide to the clerk.
Got a
I'll make
motion,
that motion.
got a motion Supervisor Banks, second Supervisor Griffin, discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye, all opposed. All right, we are,
We got a next board meeting.
I don't think we're getting anything. We got a motion to adjourn to the 17th of November at 9 a.m. Got a motion
I'll
Supervisor
make that
Banks.
motion.
Second Supervisor Brandon, discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye, all opposed.